Alright, we're good.
Be like,
Bussin' with the boys, hanging with the fellas, betting on a game. No woman's gonna tell us what to do, and I've been over here just drinking beer and making that noise. Baby, I'm hanging with the fellas, bussin' with the boys.
Bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Bussin' With The Boys. It is episode 291. Let's give a round of applause. We have a big guest today. His name is Will Levis. You're going to have a great time. Now, we did this last week. We're going to do it again this week. I'm going to let you know one more time, the listeners that come and view this podcast on your YouTube, your Rumble, your Apple, your Spotify, your Downcast, anywhere you consume this podcast, more than 50% of the people that listen to this podcast, Will, did you know something? They're not subscribed.
It's bad.
They haven't just pressed a button.
It's bad out there, man.
And that's all we're asking you to do. We're panhandling a little bit, but go ahead and give us that little button click. You don't even have to put the bell on if you don't want to, but if you could do that for us, it'll make our lives a whole lot easier.
It's not even panhandling. It's like, hey, you want to support the boys? If you want to be for the boys, just hit the subscribe button.
All you got to do is just touch it.
All you got to do. Just
touch it. Just for a second, just to see how it feels, dude. Another thing you can touch and know how it feels immediately is the Chevy Silverado presented by your good friends at Chevy. There's a reason why I've never done a tier talk on best pickup trucks, and that's because Bussin' With The Boys, there's only one truck, and that is the Chevy Silverado. Why is that? I don't know. Maybe it's the 8 cameras on the truck with 14 different views. Maybe it's that when you're driving with your family to and from school or on holidays or going on road trips, you feel safe knowing that the Chevy Silverado is taking care of you. Silverado brings the grit, the legendary grit, paired with a modern truck tech inside and out. We love the bold blackout look of the new Silverado HD Trail Boss. There's a reason Chevy is America's most awarded brand for new vehicle quality over the last 3 years, according to JD Power. So do us a favor. Go ahead and head over to Chevy.com to build your Silverado or Silverado HD and check out all the current offers on Silverado. Discover a world of strength and capability all behind the wheel of our favorite truck, the Chevy Silverado. Chevrolet received the highest total number of awards compared to other brands in the JD Power 2022 through 2024 U.S. Initial Quality Studies. Visit jdpower.com/awards for more details. Awards based on 2022 through 2024 models. A lot of mouthful there.
A lot of mouthful. And I was on my phone because I was searching some data. We talked about the panhandling, just having a good reminder at the top of the episode for people to subscribe and why it's important, which I'm sure we'll hit on in our meeting tomorrow when kind of debriefing the last week. Sam Morrill's episode is sitting at like 60-something thousand views.
60 million.
The subscribers we added last week, 372. Now, for perspective, 2 weeks ago, Rich Eisen, that episode's at like 150,000. That is currently sitting at 261 new subscribers. So just the simple call to action, and maybe it's just reminding the boys like, hey, just make sure you're subscribed to the episode. It does help. So the panhandling, just the request, I think helps a little bit. Right. What we got JP back.
JP's back.
JP's back from his honeymoon. The man, he got the ring. He's seen the field.
Hit a full body cramp this morning.
He's seen the field as clear as he ever has, I think, in my opinion. JP, would that be a fair assessment?
Fair assessment. Everything that everybody is thinking is true.
Yes.
Let's go. Let's go, JP.
Should we touch on recapping the wedding? I know when we were at the wedding, you were like, hey, try to hold off for a week so we can talk about when I get back.
Oh, that's right.
Should we hit some wedding shenanigans? I know we just had Georgia Tech, Florida State. We could talk about our first bets of the season. We got big week 1 of college football coming up. Our gambling show is not coming out this week. It's coming out next week. The first week of NFL, we're doing a gambling show called The Locker Room. Sadly, and I know the comments are going to go off about this, Bet the Bus is not happening this year. S&P 500 is not happening this year. We're basically taking a show and just talking football, bets, gambling. You got NFL, you got college. Its first episode will be next Thursday. And it is called The Locker Room. So again, subscribe wherever you get your pods. That will be in the timeline. We will be doing that. So where should we start, fellas?
Let's start at JP's wedding. I want to talk about that.
Okay.
I want to talk about your experience, JP. How was it? How'd you feel?
Man, so on the rehearsal dinner day was pretty stressful. The caterers got there like 2-3 hours late.
How was your old man?
He was hot. Y'all saw him. He was holding it together for the people for the most part, but I think he found himself by himself for a little while where he got to let off some steam to a few people.
If a dog was by him, it would have been bad to be the dog.
Exactly. Yeah. Shout out Kai. But once we sat down, did the speeches, had the food was incredible. My parents did an awesome job. My mom, she has 3 boys. The biggest party we've thrown is probably one of my birthday parties at the pool. And the biggest coordinating is like getting enough popsicles.
And pizza.
And so they did a great job. They were stressed out. I cannot say thank you enough to my parents. And then the pool party after. Y'all, 3 people on here got to experience the pool party. And that was peak. I don't know if y'all talked about it, but
we talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like if you're wondering like who I am, like that's me.
Man, it was awesome.
Yeah.
The relays, the splash contest. The boys in the beginning, because I didn't get in the water first because I saw some of your friends, they were playing physical, fighting just over the volleyball. And they're like, "Well, why are you not getting out?" I was like, "Yeah, it's a little too rough for me out there right now. I got to warm up a little bit." Then the storm came, and even though everybody scattered, like the moment the storm was happening, like just that little short video where your boy catches the volleyball
right.
off the
I think Evan caught it. I don't know who threw it.
You see the wind happening so hard that you kind of see the water moving. It was a dream. Dude,
it was a dream. And yeah, your 5-second video captured like the perfect essence of it. I wish we had the video of the relays. Smoked Will twice. But Jack and I, we came away with the dub in one of them. My brother.
We came away with dub in the second one.
You were on a team with my brother?
Yeah. The second one, when he first came in, we took him on our team.
Yeah. Will false started in that one.
Oh, okay. What's a false start?
You went before the
same thing as in football.
What I was trying to do is time me hitting the water on go.
Smart.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's using the rules to your advantage. That's a smart move.
Yeah. And what the rumors are, here was the phrase used. If JP even beat me, that was a photo finish.
After you got a head start.
From Aquaman himself, the guy who claims that he's the fastest swimmer of all time.
That's not true. Jack is faster than me.
I don't think JP ever said that.
Yeah.
You guys never did race. There's part of me that thinks like maybe you don't want to know who would win.
I have said Jack is faster than me.
He did just say that a second before you said that.
I was trying to get something going.
I know. It's tough.
It's not about that.
It's not about that.
It was a great time. I do feel like, I got to find out like how competent I was, like swimming against you had some swimmers there.
Yeah, we did. Tyler, Joe, Alan, Jack, my brother
Jack
Alex. He made the final.
One of the 4 that's like, hey, let's just do a one race, good on good, down and back, which is 50 meters. Jack was holding his own until probably the last 15 meters.
Yeah.
And I will say from the Camp Barstool stuff, I was about to catch a full body cramp, bro. I could not get comfortable because my quads were so on fire. And I will say, just to clear the air, I was laying on the table. Garrett can attest to this. And I was being very serious too, because I was hurting, like my arms, my triceps, my back, and my quads more than anything. And I was like, hey, I just want to take back. I said some things about Michael Phelps a couple weeks ago, and I'll be honest, I found out a little bit more about the swimming physicality of it all.
Best full body workout.
Tough to see Will in that position.
I was hurting one night, bro.
You had a full week of like going through stuff. You had the toe the first day,
and
the next day was the swimming.
Toe's getting a little better.
Yeah, but
do you want to see it?
Yeah, I do. Because Will jammed his toe. We were playing softball. White Sox Dave
it up, bro. It's gotten a lot better.
Oh, see? It's gotten a lot better. Yeah, maybe just a jam then.
I was putting in the old little foot spa that I got at home.
Yeah,
some Epsom salt in there. Nice. Throwing some ice every now and then in there. Trying to just move it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this toe is that it didn't bother you sleeping at night because toe pain.
Yeah.
And the blood flow to toes, and when you
feel your heartbeat.
Yes.
Yeah, I was feeling
he didn't have
pulse,
it.
But yeah, it really wasn't that bad, dude. It was kind of fun sleeping in those bunks.
It was.
I was comfortable. I don't know about you. I know you're a big cat. You're a big guy.
I was so tired at the end of each day that it was fine, but like it was the first weekend that actually like my back was hurting all weekend.
Yeah.
My knee was swollen all weekend. My back was swollen all weekend. I was like, that was a good time, but
Taylor almost slept like 12 hours one night.
Yeah. After the first day, I like went and just The problem was I got too high when we were fishing. And I was like, let me go look at my phone for a little bit. I was at my phone and I was like, I'm not getting up. I got up to brush my teeth and then I went to bed. That was it, man. I was cooked. Absolutely cooked. Camp Barstool was an absolute blast. Let's talk about after the wedding.
Winners and losers of the wedding. Because I got a couple for JP.
Losers?
I got a loser.
Let's hear him.
I got a loser too.
What's your loser?
I don't know the lady. She was wearing a whitish dress, like a pearl colored dress, and she had a little purse with her. That's really all that I got for her. Blonde haired lady.
As well.
Wearing white, yes. But love the idea of open seating. However, it was a little bit of a chaotic deal. Me, Will, Charo went and got our food, and there was a table, and I sit down, and the lady in the dress is like, "You're sitting in my seat." I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And then I walked over to the other side of where Charo was, and there was her purse right there. And I noticed there was a purse later because she was holding it later. And so I noticed that she was taking a couple of seats, and then you ended up getting up, and they moved into your seat. So I ended up just walking away. That's really my only loser of the wedding. That's my loser of the wedding is being.
I love how you identified a person because my loser is going to be the open seating concept, the standing, the. I think a winner is the buffet. Phenomenal,
huge,
food.
Great
incredible
food. The finger foods were unbelievable.
Man, I'm so
Will
mad
and I were
didn't
like
get
hunters out there just trying to get food everywhere.
I got like a little plate, but I saw photos of the spread after. I said, "Oh my god,
bro!" Even my wedding when I didn't get to have like the appetizers that were going around because we had to go take photos and everything, and they were all kind of gone when I was back. I was like, "Fuck, man." I feel you on that.
The sushi, God.
Hey, yeah, the sushi was
fire.
good too. I mean, you
was
had
mad,
shrimp
bro.
and grit. I
And
mean, you
you
guys
had,
had so much good food.
The chipotle aioli and the eel sauce in tubes, which is great because that's a great little thing that you always get someone the sushi and you wish there was a little bit more of, and you feel kind of weird asking for those things.
Yeah.
You could drench that shit, no problem. It was so good.
Another a winner, the priest, the pastor.
Yes.
Crushed, bro.
He did a great
David.
job storytelling.
That pissed me off, but it was really good. He did a really good job.
The camaraderie at the toward the end of the night, like when you got to kind of, you were saying hi to everybody, but when you get to enjoy your moments with the boys, you guys are having a great time throwing you up the AO. That's a winner. But my loser was the open seating because a couple reasons. One, the one Taylor mentioned, like if you don't know a lot of people, like I knew our crew, and I'm sure other people from other parts of your life are like kind of trying to figure it out, who's who and everything else. But when you don't know where to go, it's almost better to be told, hey, this is where you're sitting, this is where you're going. Because then it kind of takes the pressure off of a situation where it's like, there wasn't a whole lot of tables. You had a few standing tables. So you're trying to figure out, man, how can I sit down and eat all this? Because it was good grub. Like every different station.
And you're getting multiple plates too. So the whole standing
You had like
area
3 different buffets going on. It was great. It was all time.
Shrimp and grits, crab cakes,
and it's
prime rib.
And the another reason it was a loser is because I could not hear Sitton's dad giving the speech, and I was low key getting a little fired up because the back half, if you're sitting down at your table, you kind of know when somebody's talking and everybody's quiet and watching, but nobody really knew that it was speech time. And you couldn't hear anything because the back half of the room, they were like partying and mingling and everything. For sure. Else. So that was the only thing. That was the only loser that I was really bummed about.
If we're not identifying individuals, I have one more loser of the wedding, and I don't want this to feel like piling on.
It's a great wedding.
It was a great wedding.
Hey, phenomenal wedding. It really phenomenal wedding.
It was a great wedding. It was a great wedding. But because I knew how excited you were for your walkout song, I was bummed out for you.
That's another loser.
That was my loser.
There wasn't like one individual, like the party planner, going, "Hey, everybody, they're walking in. Everyone come stand over here," because I didn't really know you were walking in because the only reason why I knew is I saw you. And I was like, "What's up?" Like, "Hey, we're about to walk out." So I walked over, and it was like our little crew, and then maybe like 15, 20 other people. But the rest of the way the room was set up was like L-shaped,
right?
And that on the other side, there was like more than half the party grabbing drinks and getting their food going, to where the walkout didn't get the love it should have gotten.
Right.
Didn't go very long either.
You didn't go very long.
They cut it like right after.
Keep it
My
going.
name is Hope.
And then
I was like,
so you guys walked out. And then I went to grab more food, came back, and the dad was in the middle of the speech. I was like, damn, I want to hear these things.
It's also an issue with a bigger wedding. I think there was like 350 there.
Yeah.
Fun wedding. Winner, the people.
Yeah.
The people at the wedding. Like all your friends, the parents, everybody was awesome, bro.
Yeah.
Got to meet Wonder Boy. He was all
He
time.
was great.
Dude, yeah.
Just
Hit me with this.
A gracious.
I'll say it's great meeting. It was great to meet you as well.
Just dude, so awesome to meet you. And he's like this.
Yeah.
Just a gracious cat, man.
Truly the nicest guy.
On his post.
Yeah.
Like when he, because his brother texted me like on Wednesday because I was helping one of my other friends who's in the UFC that was there. I was trying to coordinate a practice session for them too. And then his brother hit me up like, hey, what's the details for Saturday? Because back when we were in Miami, I went to go see them. And I was like, just kind of messing around a little bit like, hey, y'all need to come to the wedding. Like, it will be awesome. And then his brother hits me up in that same text. I was like, hey, what's the details for Saturday? We want to come by, but we don't want to like, you know, take food away from whatever since we're not like on the official list. I was like, oh, snap. Like, they're really coming. So the Thompsons are the best, man. And without the Thompsons, like, I wouldn't have got a lot of the opportunities I got in Florida because they opened up their gym to me. So I was able to shoot some stuff with Steven. And then I was able to go back down to Florida and tell these other gyms, like, hey, tell them like Mike's gym, hey, I've done stuff with Wonder Boy. So like, you know, I had some like legitness to me.
Yeah.
And so like, even it was such a small act from them, but truly changed like the trajectory of my life probably.
Yeah, because then you end up in Nashville.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, which brings me to one more loser of the wedding.
Oh, no.
Michael Chandler.
Ooh.
Michael Chandler is
Had the invite.
wedding. Had the invite.
Oh, he
talked
got the
about
invite?
it and didn't go. Bad look for Mike. Stand-up guy, great individual, amazing family. Didn't go to the wedding. I told him too, say, hey, I'm driving there and back same day. I'll drive you. Nah, man, I got stuff.
I do need to defend the seating for there could have been more tables, but I hate sit down dinners.
That's what I heard.
Because I think they kill the vibe. I think you lose. We had a really good crew at the wedding, so it probably wouldn't have, but almost every wedding I've been to that sit down, there's like a good 25 to 30% that don't get up and like get to the dance floor, and the energy just falls off quick.
Right. I don't disagree with you, but I think the people that you had there,
For sure,
you would have never had to worry about, because you got people who are just so excited that
ready
got
to do it.
They're fun. So
Yeah.
the dance floor would have never, because I heard, I was like, that was one of JP's calls. I was like, yeah, it's probably the only one that if you had,
Probably the worst part of the
if I had his
wedding.
ear before the wedding,
I wouldn't have listened to you at all because I feel good about it. Sitting liked it. I wish there was more tables.
They just no,
That's a massive loser.
that lost.
Actually, the wedding was bad.
If you did it again, you wouldn't do that.
There could have been more tables for people.
Could have been more tables, but it's all good.
Pro move, like a random move at this last wedding that we went to. They had sit down, and usually it really is like people just kind of trickle onto the dance floor. You don't get too much action. They were like, hey, everybody get up from your dinner. We're doing a group photo. Everybody at the wedding brought them onto the dance floor, took the photo, and then it was turned down for what? And lights shut down.
That's
Sherm, great idea.
Sherm, didn't you get a last minute invite?
I got a very friendly invite from JP because I was at
Losers list.
I was at a day party at Mitch's house, and the save the date was on the fridge, and I sent it to JP and I said, "Dude, I can't wait. I'm excited to come." And it was a complete joke, and he sent a really friendly text message back and was like, "Hey, bro, but seriously, if you and Jill want to come through, so I appreciate you saying that, but I would never put the pressure on the guy like that. But I should have showed up. I should have showed up. That's the look I'm getting right now."
I think your thought process was in the best intention for JP.
Yeah.
But obviously, Slug's a good vibe.
This big slug, you would have had a great time.
Yeah, you'd had a good time.
And you heard the whole thing with Wonder Boy, like he still came through.
That's true. I did hear that, but Wonder Boy brings an energy that I could never match.
He brings a calmness.
Yeah.
It was a fun wedding, bro. And Greenville, a winner. Greenville,
is
South
beautiful.
Carolina, massive winner.
Yes.
Y'all see what I'm standing on the table for it each week. 864.
Yeah. Even just driving in that little downtown area before we went anywhere, it's like, yo, we're gonna have a solid little time here. There was stuff to do. The street market that was going on in the morning, the spots to eat. I'm talking Yelp Haven, bro.
What's crazy is like
Yelp Haven.
in even middle school, there was a curfew downtown. So like if you were under 18, you had to be home like by 9 because it was dangerous. And the developers that built the city, like they crushed.
Oh yeah, man.
That's
And
awesome.
what is it? Falls Park.
Yeah.
Great little spot. It was fun, man.
I'm glad everybody had a good time.
I will say,
Another loser.
no. I was trying to figure out before I say it if it's going to be like an emotional thing, like if I'm reacting to it. I don't think I will experience another welcome party the way you had your welcome party. There's
awesome.
nobody that's going to go out of the box like that and do a pool party, and you're almost curious if it's going to hit or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it was so good because the people that like didn't bring their swimsuits, a ton of them came up to me. They were like, man, like, I can't believe I didn't bring my swimsuit. Like, it raining literally felt like God was just like laughing at me. Like, look at you dumb in your little suit, collared shirt, not in the pool right now.
Yeah. Your dad tried coming out there and saying, hey, lightning might be here in like 15 minutes, so we're going to have to get out. Obviously, it didn't happen. We just had to tell
we'll die before we get out.
Yeah.
Nah, man, it truly was like the greatest weekend ever. Best weekend of my life. The honeymoon was awesome. Like, I was just so thankful. Everybody that showed up, it was so cool to see everybody from all different walks of life. And it was special. So
how was it sit and walk through those church doors?
I was crying. Like,
oh, son.
Bro.
It was bad, man.
Before it even happened, you just, doors are about to open, so you just immediately look at JP because you can already see that he's emotional kind of before it even starts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Leg shaking, leg moving back and forth.
He does one of these. I was like, oh, not the shoulders, bro.
Well, it was my friend Michael, because he was one of the last ones to walk down, and I've known Michael since I was like 3, maybe even 2. And like Michael has been through a lot of things. And so like we've just, I don't know, seeing him come down kind of like sparked it. I was already emotional, but I was just like, man, because I was in his wedding. He's the one whose photo I dressed up as the bride for his first look. And so like seeing him and just somebody that I've known since I was 2 or 3 years old, and we just like have experience of a lot of things together, mainly him going through a lot of hardships. It was just like, oh man, like I have photos with him from kindergarten graduation. Now I have photos of him at my wedding, and Sitton wrote me the nicest letter of all time, and like another little gift from before that I was just like, God dang. So
at what point during it were you like, all right, this is gonna be harder than I thought emotionally?
Probably like 15 minutes before I went out there.
Late.
Well, she sent me the letter, and there's like this song from a movie. The movie is called 10 Years. It's a great little like fun watch. The cast is crazy. Oscar Isaac, Channing Tatum, Anthony Mackie, Chris Pratt. And it's like a high school 10-year reunion. And there's this song in it called Never Had. And it's basically Oscar Isaac singing to the girl like she was the best thing he never had. And because they had like a little fling. And so Sitton rewrote some of the lyrics and had our friend Hannah Klein sing it. And she sent me the song, and it was like so sweet and just like means a lot. And Sitton and I love that song anyways. And so I'm listening to the song, and I'm just like, I mean, I was a mess in the morning. And then that feeling sort of subsided as the day got ready. And then like, I was like, I listened to the song one more time, and I was like, I should not have done this.
Oh, put you the mental.
Yeah. It's just sweet.
Blocker.
I mean, like Sitton and I were best friends for a long time. So it's just like, it's just cool. I think like her and I have a really special relationship.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I love the
Fired up
passion
for
of
you,
your voice
bro.
too. Another winner of the wedding. The phone that you pick up. And
I can't wait. We haven't listened to it.
Dog.
I can't wait.
I did it, and then once it was like, please leave a message, I was like, oh fuck. I was like nervous.
Wait, what
for a
was there?
second.
What happened?
So there's obviously, the book, you can write like notes. There's
Yeah.
like pictures, and you can write notes. But on the next to it, there was a phone, like an old school phone that you'd pick up, and it would ring, and then it would say, please leave a message for the bride and groom after the beep. So now they have all these messages from people from the wedding.
Oh, that is
saying different
awesome. Damn, I'm
It's a
bummed
great
I didn't get in
idea.
on
It was
that.
a great idea.
I left 2. One at the beginning, one at the end.
Did you? Yeah. Hell yeah.
The one at the end, I was like, I'm back. I was like, I'm
It's so
fucking
funny,
drunk,
dude.
guys, but I love y'all. There's like an old lady behind me. She's like, I'm like, hold on 1 second. I'm like, I gotta
You're wiping your
get this
tears.
off my heart. I love that though.
Small break from the wedding part. People are probably sitting here watching this episode wondering what's changed in the bus.
Oh yeah, because we get into it with Will Levis, but we got some new chairs.
New chairs. And so
They're
Will
nice.
and I,
little upgrade.
this was talked about on Thursday, and I get to the bus today, and you're like, I pulled the trigger. We're doing it. It's like, all right, fuck it. And I think I personally like it.
Do you like the round table as well?
Yes, because there's just more room, and I
Yeah.
love the swivel.
Yeah.
Having the swivel is
I think it helps
Nice.
with the guest too, because he can face us a little bit more, and
Right.
then also in the back you can kind of swivel and look back.
Yeah.
We'll have to figure out if there's like a fourth at some point, but that usually, like
No,
you were
well
saying
done.
when we were like talking through it last week at the
Restoration.
Restoration Hardware, you're like, hey, but that's like few and far in between.
Yeah, having multiple
And then
guests
once
on.
we tried it, it's like, yo, let's just rock with this. As long as they felt comfortable. Like,
It's good to
making
pull the trigger
cameras
on
work.
things and see how it works.
Yeah.
I'm personally a fan of it. We interrupt this episode to bring you DraftKings. We had an appetizer last week. Now it's time to feast. College football is back. Don't miss any of the action. Jump into DraftKings Sportsbook. It's a full slate of games in week 1, including a big matchup in Atlanta between preseason number 1 and number 16. It's super easy for first timers to get started. Try betting on something simple like picking a team to win. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your team, and place your first bet. This is going to be DraftKings' biggest college football season to date. Enjoy the ride now all the way through the expanded playoffs. And for all you newbies getting into the college spirit, here's something extra special. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Score big with DraftKings all college football season long. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code BUS. That's code BUS, B-U-S, for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Let's get back to the episode.
You guys know that I hate bringing up like anything that could be a little too, could create drama, you know, but I do feel like we have to just put it out there, just reporting. This isn't me wanting to cause anything whatsoever. Yeah. Did you feel any type of way about Taylor's supposed to be driving and then he left that night? I
do want to say this too. If you do feel some type of way, I completely understand.
I don't hold grudges. So like I haven't carried it with me once the wedding day was over, but I was taken aback.
Yeah.
When you came and broke the news to me, because I also heard the wedding planners came and spoke to you and then they locked it in with you.
Yeah.
So I think it was the fact that it was locked in, and I was excited. I told people, I was like, man, I'm stoked. Like Taylor is taking us off. The photos are going to be hilarious.
Yeah.
Like he wanted to officiate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have probably done just as good of a job.
Well, I guess like, how do we know you wouldn't have
No,
backed out?
yeah, I get that. Here was my whole thing is I was traveling a lot the 2 days before that. I get back and I drove that day, and in my head, Taylor had been gone. Her flight was like bumped around a lot because there was like weather in Toronto, so she was pushed, and so I was going to be able to see her the weekend before, but ended up I had to leave, and then they were getting back. They didn't get back until we were actually in Wisconsin for Camp Barstool.
Wisconsin, yeah.
So, but at the time, I thought they were getting back in town at like 9 a.m., 10 a.m. So I was selfishly thinking to myself, man, like Will's not drinking. I would love to get back on the road and just be home so I can, my family, and see them, because it's been like a week or something like that. And then, karma's a bitch because I end up leaving. I get a call from Tana at like 3 a.m. I've been asleep for like 2 hours. She's like, our flight got canceled. So, if you do it all over again, I would have absolutely done it. But I wasn't necessarily being as present-minded for you as I should have been. I should have stayed and just powered through that drive late at night.
Hey, I appreciate you making the trip from Arizona to Greenville.
I appreciate that. And I should have drove. I'll make it up to you. I'll figure out a way to make it up to you.
You got me one of the best wedding gifts ever.
But you see, so 2 weeks ago, you were like, this is the best gift. And I was like, bro, I'm telling you, someone's going to come out of nowhere. And at the wedding, I was like, hey, is it still staying? You're like, unfortunately, no.
Shout out Grammy.
Shout out Grammy. But it was a good gift.
Yeah.
It was a gift you could have been on.
I have one for him coming.
Yeah. Same as my birthday gift. You'll get that.
That's
your
still,
5-year wedding anniversary. You guys will be like, here's your wedding gift.
That's still sitting in the truck. I had that for your birthday.
It's in the truck outside right now.
Yeah.
Don't give it to me until I give you your birthday.
Do you want me to run out and get it right now?
No. We'll exchange gifts on September 5th.
Okay. I'm just saying I can go grab it.
No, I don't want to.
You're going to love it. You're going to love it.
Go grab it.
I'm going to love it.
Love it.
I always feel uncomfortable receiving gifts in front of people. So get it.
All right.
Let's go.
One of my favorite gifts of all time.
What do you think it would be?
I don't know.
Originally, I felt like it was going to be a book.
Probably will be. It'll probably be The Daily Dad, which he thinks I don't read, but I've sent him multiple photos of me reading it. Also, Michigan favored by 21.5 against Fresno State. Take that. Run with it. Set the tone. Tennessee's favored by 39.5.
What, they get GTC?
Yeah. Well, I can't fill time. Can't fill time.
Battle of the State.
The wrapping is incredible. It's a dish of some sort.
Just open it up.
I will.
Heart's pounding.
Check for $1 million.
That would be something. That's a good gift.
Yeah?
That's a good gift.
Yeah?
Yes.
Show everybody.
The best revenge is massive success. Frank Sinatra.
It's a little key dish.
Hey.
Come
It's
home,
a key dish.
put your keys on. I know you
Yeah.
talked about losing stuff in the past.
That is
I know
nice.
It's been pivotal for my life.
Hey, that's a great gift. That's a great gift, dude. Thank you. Thank you.
Best gift ever?
Ever.
It's ever. I've never received a gift.
Best
like that.
gift you've ever received on August 26th into 2024?
Yes. No doubt
That's
about
all
it.
I needed. Make sure you take that home.
I
though.
will.
You
I'm
gotta
gonna
set
take
it
that
in
home.
a
I'm gonna take
spot
that
to
home.
where
I'm gonna take
your
that
keys are going to. And I expect
I don't even
you.
know where I'd put that.
I expect you to
would-
send me a photo of it being used.
Okay. So there's some.
Here's why.
Okay.
Because then I know you'll start utilizing it. It won't be a gift that just like, well, not a gift, but it won't be a thing that's just like thrown on the side, because that will benefit your life. As men, we do a bad job of leaving stuff in our pockets. Then
Right.
whenever we're chilling, I'll remember where I put this. Then you're looking everywhere for them and you never find it. Just the spot that you come in at every day, have it setting somewhere so that you can put your stuff on it. And you just stick to it. It'll change your life.
And it's not like you can just buy those anywhere.
Yeah,
like,
you can't just get these.
No,
anywhere.
yeah.
Like
Listen,
this is like
As you were saying.
well, that's like what? That's a top 3 quote of yours. I know.
Yeah. That's an awesome quote.
Yeah.
I have that in a neon sign in my recovery room.
I saw it and I was like, Taylor, birthday. This is gonna be.
Birthday. It's a great gift, and as like I literally thought to myself, like, where am I gonna put this? I don't have like a table stand by my door.
I know. I'm trying to work through your house
But
as well.
as you were saying that, I was like, oh, yo, I'm gonna put that in my bathroom, because at night I have this little shelf where I put my wallet, my keys, and everything on. But now I'm just gonna put that in there.
I think it's so funny that it's like the bathroom is a spot where you'll be like, oh, let me put my wallet and keys. But it makes sense.
Yeah, because
You get up, you brush your teeth, you're like, oh, here's my
let me grab
stuff.
my stuff. Boom.
Yeah.
It's about it making it there when I get home.
God has to. That's
the
why I
hardest
need the
part.
photo.
Now we'll cut this part. We'll cut this part right here, Mitch. So make sure you cut this part. I just leave my keys in my vehicle.
Yeah,
I don't even.
you do.
Yeah,
I
my
had
keys
to,
are in my truck right now.
I was same.
Yeah, but when I get home, yeah, I just leave. My
I've
shit in my
gotten
truck
better
so I
at
don't
bringing
forget
my
it.
keys in and
Yeah.
putting them on the thing. But I was the same way.
Yeah, even
Heavy.
when my car got stolen twice,
You
and
know,
I still get my car back. I'm like,
I
that's
got
where my key
Charlie's car
goes.
stolen. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
All right. As you were grabbing my gift, I did just lightly put out there that Michigan's favored by 21.5, and they should take that bet.
21.5 against who? let me
Fresno State.
Let me scroll through. Since we don't have the gambling show this week, it's probably
We'll just throw a couple bets out there for the boys. Throw a
We
couple
should let
bets
people
out.
know where our heads are at.
I have a wild parlay to throw out there.
A wild parlay
Wild
by
parlay.
the slug.
Presented by the Slug.
Now let's start with this game first. We'll just start with this.
We'll start with this.
We are traveling to Texas A&M for Texas A&M versus Notre Dame. A&M is favored by 3 points right
There's
now.
a Twisted Tea tailgate happening from 3 to 6 p.m. that the boys will be at. So come look us up outside of Kyle Field.
Right.
Just to let you guys know. But
Outside
yeah,
of Kyle Field.
I think I'm going A&M.
Are you really?
A&M's favored by 3, but there's just something in the air that makes me think like maybe they'll be tough this year because they have some insane recruiting classes. They obviously have a new staff.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to come out fired up. Especially Kyle Field, like that place is one of the loudest places in college football.
I heard. I can't wait to hear
Dude,
that.
you're gonna love it, man. We got ref screwed us over in our game at Kyle Field, and that's legit.
Whoop.
That's legit.
Sherm had a couple of good points about Notre Dame. I'd like you to say those before I make my pick.
Okay.
You want me to tee it up for you?
Yeah.
Okay, Sherman does not like Notre Dame. He's not a fan of it
at all.
But he's got receipts behind it. It's not just because, I don't like their colors. Like me personally growing up, I was never a fan of Notre Dame just because of, as a kid, when you look at schools, you're like, oh, that school is cool to me for X, Y, and Z. Like when we were in high school, it was like Oregon is cool. Look at all the uniforms they have. This, Alabama was cool because they're winning all the time. When I look at Notre Dame, I never really had that like fire of like, oh, sick.
Yeah, I loved them.
Yeah.
You look at Notre Dame and I thought like college football.
Yeah. Okay. So Sherm.
Okay, so growing up I grew up in Fort Worth, Texas. My entire family, they're all Horned Frogs. So I was growing up a huge fan of TCU. We would have these teams like the Rose Bowl team that beat J.J. Watt's Wisconsin team. Great TCU teams come through. They don't get the BCS bid. They don't get to go to the ship. But these suspect Notre Dame teams, every single time in the media, they're the media darlings. They're always making the big games. They're 0-for in every single New Year's 6, BCS, and CFP game. They are 0-for. And I believe it's like 0-for 6. And that's what drives me crazy is looking at, if you look at their schedule this year, this A&M game is it. It is really it. Like week 1, if they beat A&M, I would not be surprised if they went undefeated. They play nobody. They don't have to play in a conference championship, which is a huge loss for like Georgia, that Georgia team that didn't get to play in the CFP last year. Would you have want your Michigan Wolverines to line up against that Georgia team last year? You wouldn't feel comfortable about it. But you wouldn't feel comfortable about it.
Yeah, but you don't feel good when you're in the dance, brother. Every team's good.
Well, would Notre Dame scare you in the dance? Or would you go, thank God we get to play Notre Dame?
I think the team I was able to support last year, I would be like, thank God I have this team.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But you would rather
see a draw of Notre Dame than Bama.
I think at the point, yes. I think at the point we were with the SEC. Now the SEC's kind of been decrowned? Dethroned. Thank you. It's like at that point, it's like, Alabama, Georgia, you look at any of those teams, you're like, oh, fuck. That's a big bad wolf. Now it's like, that's just the second best conference.
They've also been outscored by like 47 combined points in their CFP games. Like they just don't perform.
So you're saying Notre Dame's a fraudulent school?
I just think they're fraudulent. Okay. And I think they'll probably get the win this weekend. And I think they'll probably go undefeated for the rest of the season. And it really drives me nuts.
So you're taking Notre Dame and you're going to go money line.
I would take Notre Dame with the new Texas A&M is really hard to beat at Kyle Field, but with their new coach, a lot of things moving around. I haven't seen anything promising from quarterback play from A&M in a while. I would take Notre Dame. They have a really good transfer quarterback. I don't remember his name. Yeah. Dude was solid before he got hurt at Duke. He was so solid. If he's playing like he did at Duke, they get out there with the W.
See, I think you take the -3 with A&M, but what I will be doing, I'll be using my heart because I know Shane, he will be there. He will be in attendance this weekend. I can't just sit there and ride against my guy. I'll be going Notre Dame money line on the DraftKings app. But I do think A&M -3
that's the play.
Would be the play.
Are you wearing Notre Dame stuff too?
No, I can't do that. A&M's allowing us to come and be on the sideline. Like I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
It's either neutral colors or A&M stuff.
Yeah.
Have to.
Yeah.
For sure.
Have to.
But that's kind of my thought.
I love that thought.
Where are you going?
It's hard because I really thought watching FSU versus Georgia Tech, I was like, oh, FSU is going to wipe the floor. But not realizing that new season, new people, getting the rust off and all that, I think the edge is going to go to the home team in this situation. I think there's a lot more pressure. Like, listening to you talk, Notre Dame, this is their one big game this year. And even if they lose this game, they could win out the rest of their games and still make the college football playoff, like you like to say, because ND gets that like college football privilege. So, and A&M is 20. They're on the outside looking in, know that they're going to have to work their way into the top 12. So I'm going to take A&M. I'm gonna have to take A&M. Boys?
I don't have too much information backing. I don't follow A&M and Notre Dame too well, but I am curious outside of the gambling perspective to see the Yale leaders in person And I'm not going to say anything
Oh.
nasty because A&M's been gracious enough to host us. But I'm interested to see this cult mentality that they have building at A&M.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be fun. But if I had to pick a winner, I've heard that Kyle Field is extremely loud, being the first game of the season, shaking the rust off everything. I think they could get a good home dub. So, and I'd like to see A&M win for the sake of our experience. So I think I'll be not rooting for A&M, but rooting for a good environment, which usually ends with a home team win. So hopefully it's the Aggies. But
That's a good thought process to have. That's a
Yeah.
good thought process.
so we'll see. But the Yell leaders still in question.
In
Always
question.
have
That's all
been.
right.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll see.
It's all right. And then there's nothing wrong with asking questions.
Yeah.
Curiosity.
I'm most excited to see the dog. They got a like a border collie Sheltie maybe, or
What's his name?
Reverly. Can't wait to meet you. Seen a lot of great things about you. With that being said, I did grow up Catholic, so I have to rock with Notre Dame. And I didn't know Shane was going to be there, so I'll be rocking. I'll be on the Shane train. I'm also on the Shane train with the Gamecocks. Will also win this week. Yeah, I'm going Notre Dame.
All right.
I like Georgia minus 13.5 over Clemson.
Yes,
I think Georgia will wipe the floor with them.
in Atlanta.
And I always feel like, especially the last few years, it doesn't. JP, correct me if I'm wrong, but Clemson doesn't usually start off that well, or they have in recent years.
Yeah, I mean they never have any hard games in the beginning, so
I like Georgia minus 13.5.
they're gonna
Seems
be
like
pissed
that marriage
off.
between Dabo and Clemson is kind of falling apart too. Yeah.
Really, the marriage between Dabo and I think the current college football, because he doesn't like the portal, he doesn't like NIL. Obviously, they're paying guys, but he is out there like, we don't need to go to the portal. Like, our recruiting class is our portal. Like, you weren't good enough to come here in the first place
Adapt or
type
die.
deal.
They only got
Yeah.
2 guys, right? From the portal
Yeah.
over the last 3 years.
And I
That's a
think
great
they're both
pick
like
with
grad
Georgia, by the way.
guys.
I think that's
you like Georgia?
yeah.
You
I
want
think
Georgia
that's
or
I
Clemson?
think Georgia's a tough ball club this year.
Oh yeah,
I
every
think
year.
I think they're gonna.
Ohio
You
State,
can even bump those
I mean,
numbers
this is
up
a
a
team
little bit.
that's won like 30 something and won in the last few years.
Yes.
This is more of a hope than anything, but I hope Colorado covers against North Dakota State. They're favored at 9.5.
That is a game, I'm telling you. And it's not because Colorado is going into Nebraska the next week. I just think you cannot sleep on North Dakota State. Like, they're like a legacy team in the D1AA world.
Yeah, and I'm really just thinking about us and our experience. If Nebraska and Colorado are both undefeated, Michigan and Texas are both undefeated, going to those two schools next week, it's just going to make it more fun. Now, if Colorado lays an egg against North Dakota, it's like, well, fuck, man. Like,
Not really. I don't want them to be pissed off going into Lincoln.
yeah, but I think that just the storylines play up more. Like, good.
I'm with you.
A solid rivalry.
Colorado can win, but I'm taking the 9.5 with North Dakota State. I don't know. I those teams, it's like they usually have a non-conference game that's just like their Super Bowl, and I'm telling you, they're going to be a well-coached team.
Montana State this last weekend.
Yeah,
They came to play. I do have that 5-leg parlay dialed up.
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Let's hear that.
hang on. Let me go one more.
Okay.
Miami minus 2.5 at Florida. I like Miami. I think Miami can win the ACC this year, and I think Miami can be in the college football playoff. Man, I'm kind of wanting to buy Virginia Tech too, but
LSU.
Miami minus 2.5 at Florida. I also like LSU
Minus 4.5 at USC.
minus 4.5 at USC. I like LSU.
Those
are my picks.
I went the opposite direction as you on both Vautech and Miami. I got Florida money line, West Virginia money line, Vanderbilt money line,
Who's Vandy playing?
Vautech.
Oh yeah.
I got TCU to cover and Oklahoma State to cover.
Is that your
TCU's
parlay?
playing. That's my parlay.
Vanderbilt,
Say it again, say it
Vanderbilt
again.
money lines plus 400 at that bottom.
What are
line.
the odds on that?
Oh, they're high.
Jeez.
The odds are high. We're looking at plus 14,000.
$10 to win $1,400.
There ain't no way Vandy's beat Virginia Tech.
Or
I
West
hope you're wrong, because I took Vanderbilt money line.
Come on.
I like North Dakota State with the points. I like, again, Hart, Notre Dame money line. I like LSU at USC covering, and I like Miami covering at Florida, and I like Georgia covering at home against Clemson. Those are mine.
I like Georgia. I don't think Georgia's just going to cover.
And you want a futures bet? We already know that I'm all about this, but the over-under for Nebraska's win total 7.5. Over.
They're minus 27.5 against UTEP this weekend.
We're not going to touch that. If there's anything I've learned, it's just not bet on Nebraska games. Because if I bet the cover there and, Nebraska wins, I'm like going to be bummed if they don't cover. You know what I mean? I don't like being in that
It's
spin
a massive
zone.
line too.
I'll probably take the money line just in the parlay or something.
In these early games where like good teams are playing really bad teams, like Ohio State's favored by 50.5 versus Akron. 50.5. I think you get to a point where you're pulling your starters at halftime and it doesn't get to a 50-point deficit. So I would take Akron in that.
But imagine the third team Alabama against
Alabama?
Akron. Yeah,
Ohio
did you
State?
say
Ohio State.
Oh, Ohio State.
Ohio
Imagine
State.
third team Ohio State playing against Akron.
Yeah,
they're covering that if it was 18.5.
South Carolina's favored by 20.5 against Old Dominion.
South Carolina could be scrappy this year.
Now, one team that I like that has a big number attached to them is Tennessee. They're 38.5. And I remember the argument last year when Jack and I were going toes on Michigan and Tennessee, and like good teams always cover. Tennessee always happened to cover these types of games. So I would lean Tennessee in
They
this
got a
one
lot of
too,
firepower.
38.5. Yeah, they got a lot of firepower. Everyone's saying that kid's the truth. Could be. Very stoic by Jack right now.
Yeah.
He's got a calm.
You stand calm. It's game week.
It's game week.
He's got to reel it in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Slow burn.
And, well, I don't know if we want to talk about it, what we're doing today.
Oh, we're going to Tennessee today.
Yeah.
We're driving to Tennessee today.
I don't know if we want to give the full details, but yeah, we're going
Little
to the
sneak
pride of
peek.
the Southland.
We got a white whale joining us for an interview next week.
Can we give one hint?
White whale.
I'm going to give.
I feel like what you're going to say is a massive hint.
Massive hint.
Massive head.
Bingo.
There it is.
He's an officer of the law.
Yeah.
We can
Yeah.
cut that if that's too.
I mean,
If that's too much.
Are we going to post about it later today, like where it would even matter? Or are we going to save that?
That's true.
Yeah, we'll probably post about it later today. Say it. Pay Manning.
Let's
Yeah.
fucking go.
Hey, Manning, let's go, boys.
He doesn't do a lot of interviews either.
I know.
Hey.
He texted us over his flip phone.
He did text us with the PM at the end. He
Yeah.
said, he like thanked us for coming on the Manning cast.
Yeah.
Oh, and I think he sent us the photo at the end of the year where he's like, Eli did most of the drawings.
I don't remember
He
that.
said something like that, and then it was PM.
But it's going to be awesome. Yeah. One thing I want to know about, you heard the story McAfee tells about roulette, Red
Yeah,
18?
yeah.
I want to know if that's true.
I think it is, right?
I mean, you
It's
got
a
to
story that they tell. I think that they've told often.
Has he told it?
They were on the McAfee show talking about it.
Well, there it is. Guess I got my answer. Oh, speaking of, we got to be unpacking for Knoxville.
Yeah.
We got to
Let's
get off
get
the
into
bus.
Will Levis. People
Yeah.
are here for Will Levis. Let's
Yeah.
dive into Will Levis. He was an incredible guest. This is an awesome interview. We, of course, obviously talk about Mayo. What else?
And yeah, it's a great show.
Yeah.
You're
You guys
going to enjoy it. We literally just did it 5 minutes ago. If you've lasted this long and you're not subscribed, just press the button.
Yeah.
Just press the button.
And Gambling Show, The Locker Room, will be debuting next Thursday. So that's where a lot of our football talk and picks will be happening with the one and only Delaney Walker.
Mm-hmm.
And a revolving fourth chair a little bit this year.
It'll be fun.
We'll get some guests on.
Before we get into the episode, we'll love us. This episode is brought to you by Body Armor Zero Sugar, the brand new Zero Sugar sports drink from our friends at Body Armor provides real hydration with no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or dyes. Whether you're looking to stay hydrated or recover from a long weekend, Body Armor Zero Sugar has got you covered with great tasting flavors like fruit punch and lemon lime. Get yours today at Walmart or at a local grocery store near you. Let's get into the episode with Will Levis. It's pro move. All right. As we were sitting on the bus, Will Levis, our guest, who should we give a round of applause to right now? Give a round of applause to the boy.
It's a big fish.
I will say this.
We've been asking him for years.
First Titans quarterback.
really?
First Titans quarterback on the bus.
Yeah, you're right.
Isn't that crazy? I was thinking about that on my
Tannehill
drive
never
over
came
here today.
on.
And Marcus has always said, yeah, I'll come on, but then something always comes up.
Yeah.
So the first Tennessee Titans quarterback to ever step on. Let's give him one more. Let's give him one more. But you were asking as we're getting on, what's changed on the bus? And literally up until you stepped on this bus, not a whole lot. Maybe a couple of these pictures back here. Yeah. But these chairs.
The chairs are new.
Will and I went, Will.
Don't
Compton.
be scared about this mic either. Get it
Yeah,
closer.
I
got you.
Yeah, don't be scared.
Well, Compton and I, we went to Restoration Hardware. What was it? Thursday?
Yeah.
Tuesday? Thursday.
One of those days.
One of those days. And we were talking about doing chairs, all of that. We're talking to a lady. She was very nice, talking about a discount. We almost got there. We kind of got there. Then all of a sudden, they're like, hey, why don't you sleep on it? I get here today and Will's like, hey, I'm pulling the trigger. Now I'm on the bus and we're learning this for the first time.
Here we go. Going from $70 Amazon chairs to some RH ones.
Yeah,
these are nice. Are these RH?
It's about no, these are like $500 a pop though.
Are they really?
Yeah. No big deal.
I thought I'd upgrade a little bit.
Contract here.
Yeah, I thought I'd upgrade a little bit.
Yeah.
Restoration Hardware, that's a different ballpark.
I was about to say that's
a different. Yeah,
it's a game changer, dude.
Gosh.
It's a game changer.
We're getting a few though. We're getting a few
for the gambling show.
Yeah.
That'll be a nice little deal.
Yeah, the locker room.
Dude, let's talk about first year you're with Vrabel, second year you're with Callahan. It just seems like in these couple of preseason games I've seen, it's the first time since I've been in the Tennessee Titans world that I can't guess what you guys are doing next. Does it feel nice to have some variety in your playbook?
I mean, I loved their offense we had last year, and Vrabes will always play a huge role in my development as a player. And Callie's coming in and doing a great job with the identity he wants to establish with what we got going on, and I love it. I mean, I think it suits my traits, and it does a good job of focusing on the talent that we have across the board and distributing it evenly. So the additions we made in the offseason were awesome, and Callie's just done a great job of pulling everything he can out of the playbook to let guys go out and make plays and do them fast and easily. I feel like the biggest thing has just been completions have been out there, and then we've just been able to take them and move on, and the shots come, and we understand that as we take more of those completions that are a little quicker and easier, then those shots will come, and all the other stuff with every single different run scheme we've put on tape already in the first 3 games of the preseason, and our screen game and everything else. It's just a very complementary offense, and I'm excited to see kind of how it's going to evolve throughout the year.
As a quarterback, what do you feel like you've learned? What are a couple tidbits you feel like you've learned the most? Because obviously, Callie, he comes from Cincinnati. He's worked with somebody like Burrow, and then when Burrow went down last year, what was his name? Jake Browning.
Mm-hmm.
He ends up balling as well. But you talk about the variety of offense and everything else. Like, what are a couple tidbits like in the film room that you feel like you picked up on that you've learned from Callie?
I think just playing within the system and really understanding the intent of the play that he's putting out there. And like I said, I just feel like the concepts that we're majoring in are a little different actually than the concepts that I've typically majored in the straight drop back pass game in my previous offenses. And at first it's like just kind of weird because you haven't thrown a lot of those balls, you haven't read routes or concepts that way. But after doing it the first few times, like it becomes more natural, and you start to learn the intents of the plays and why and when the intent isn't there and why it's not there, and then what your next option is. Like, it's just been coming really naturally, and I've really liked how it's developed. And then physically too, I can't remember the last time I had a quarterback coach that helped me from the mechanics and just like physical throwing standpoint. He just kind of threw some suggestions out there with what he saw from me from the beginning of spring to the end of spring, and I'm always gonna take anything any of my coaches says with an open mind. And I implemented a couple things into my game. One of which I really kind of did stick with, and that's been helping me a lot. So that's been cool, like playing with my base, playing with my mechanics, talking to a guy who's seen so many quarterbacks and worked so many to understand the different things that go into the position. That's cool to hear from a head coach.
I want to talk about the Hogs, dude, because obviously Brian Callahan comes in, he brings his dad, and watching in these couple preseason games, it seems like the offensive line's playing with a whole lot of confidence. Obviously, you pay your center $50 million, you take a guy, J.C. Latham in the first round. You got Skronsky, who was a first rounder, 11th overall last year. But then Dylan Radins, who is going to his 4th year, I think. This is his 4th year. And he's kind of been jumping. Was he a tackle? Is he a guard? And now he's like cemented himself as a starter. Like, are these boys seem like they've really putting it together? Have you seen a dramatic jump from your rookie year to now?
There's been big jump in confidence, and I think just work ethic too. Like Bill has been on those guys to really make sure they're coming out there with their head on a swivel and really knowing what they're
your
looking
head's on a
for.
swivel with old Bill Callahan.
Oh yeah, no doubt. He's just been such a pleasure in the building, and I think it's a tone that he's set from day one that they have ran along right with him. And every day after practice, the extra indie work, the constant, the meetings and the terminology and I guess physical, like body positioning and hand placement stuff that he talks about with these guys, the attention to detail is something I've never heard before in that position. So it's really cool to hear and to see these guys work to implement it when we get out there and practice. And then obviously in the game so far, they've done a really good job. So I felt comfortable back there. I feel like I have the time I need. You mentioned Dylan, him stepping up for, Sadiq, something we didn't necessarily expect. And that was just a crazy situation. And we're wishing him the best. But Dylan has just taken that opportunity head on and it's done a really good job with it. So all those guys, everyone that's competing up there, even our backups have been really impressed with how they've been able to work with Bill and the mentality that Bill's established with that room.
Go ahead.
Did you have something? I was
going
going
to
to
be different. It was a different topic.
I was just going to talk about the level of protection. Last year when you started, obviously the game against Atlanta was unbelievable. Then after that, a lot of people, it was like a sieve a little bit through the offensive line. No disrespect to them, but just statistically, it was what it was. You took a lot of shots. How did that affect your confidence at all last year, and then seeing the kind of difference this year so far?
It's not like you take a couple hits and you start playing the game differently. You can't really think of it that way. It's more of a reaction thing, and you can't go into a drop back pass without the confidence that you have the time to make the read that you need to. So it's not like I was like going into anything differently, but I do feel like I'm more confident, and it's just a testament to how they've worked and the development that they've made throughout the off season and just the good football they've put on tape throughout camp. And it's been really big, and I've just been trying to do my best to instill even more confidence in them. And Bill's continuing to push them as hard as he can. And I know that they're nowhere near where they want to be yet. And I know as well as no one else is on the offense as well. So just looking forward to keep getting better and pushing these guys for when the real deal comes in a couple weeks.
Dude, as a rookie, what was it like for you ultimately taking over the role of the starting quarterback? Tannehill, he was down, he was injured. You come in, you play well. The job's basically yours when he comes back. Like, walk us through that. Walk us through those couple weeks, because that's always like, we've all been in the locker room when a position change happens or somebody takes over a starting spot. You're kind of wondering how, the starter's feeling. Like, you just know what it is. Ultimately, you have to suppress your emotion because we sacrifice for the team. So you have to put your own personal agenda aside to ultimately, like, I'm sure Ryan was a good teammate, even though probably internally he might not have wanted to be. But for you in your spot, being a rookie and that moment happening, what was that like for you in that moment?
It's tough because, every quarterback, I feel like they obviously want to be that guy so bad. No matter what your position you're in, like one quarterback plays, like it's such a tough position to be as a backup quarterback, just because like, unless, barring an injury or something crazy happening, you're probably not getting to get a shot on that Sunday. So it's doing everything you can with your actions throughout the week and whatever other role that you're put in to be a leader in the other ways. But it's you're never going to get to that same kind of level or exposure that the starter is, that you're going to be able to touch and affect the people that you might want to if you're a backup. So to be kind of thrown into that role like suddenly, like halfway through the year, and not having that off season of like knowing you're the guy to kind of just
put your kind of like fingerprints
exactly
on the
to
offense
mesh
yourself
with the rest of the locker room. I didn't really have that, and being a rookie too, it was a lot more difficult. But it didn't really give me an excuse to not be the leader that I wanted to, but it just gave me time to warm up to that and to use that year, that second half of that season, to understand kind of what I feel like leadership should look like at the quarterback position. More looking from outside in and just getting more comfortable growing in that role. And that was my biggest kind of goal for this offseason too, was to continue developing in that and to roll into this season with a better identity as a quarterback, as a leader, as a person, as a teammate. And that's really what I was focused on. But the beginning of that process was really, really hard because you're, stepping in for a guy that has won a whole lot of games for this organization, will go down as one of the best quarterbacks this organization's ever had. And it's tough to just kind of flip the switch and be like, all right, now it's your turn. And you can't just try to pick off where Ryan left off and do the same things that he was doing. You have to kind of find your own flair and find your own way of doing things. So that process was difficult, but it was a lot of fun at the same time. And I got to thank RT too for how he handled that process, because anytime any guy loses a position like that, there's two ways you can go with it. You can kind of not give the guy any attention, or you can be the best teammate you can be, and that's what Ryan did, and he helped me immensely throughout that whole process. So I got to thank him for that.
That's awesome you say that, because in the beginning, when you first get drafted at 33, Tannehill has that press conference that was kind of going around. It's like, oh, it's not my job to essentially help you take Tannehill's job,
which is true.
Which is true, but it kind of starts the narrative, right, that everybody wants to do in the media cycle of like, oh, Tannehill's not helping Will. Now there's a little bit of a rivalry going on there, instead of like, hey, older vet is here, young guy comes in, help him up as much as possible. Was there a transition, or was he helpful from the beginning, where he was kind of fighting it, and then all of a sudden you become a starting job? He's like, I can do whatever I can to help you, or was it pretty good from the start to finish?
I think what he meant by that was just like, I'm not gonna groom this guy to be the starting quarterback, but he's still going to. I mean, he didn't say it, but he still answered anything I ever had to ask to him. Like, he wasn't going to go out of his way to do those things, but he was always open and, very communicative with what he was seeing, how he saw things and how he could help me. And he was never, he didn't avoid that at all ever. So no, he, from day one, he was a great teammate and treated everybody and me and everybody in the quarterback room the right way. So nothing really else to be said there.
Going back to draft night, how'd you feel? What was your emotion like? Like ultimately falling to 33? I know it was like there's a range of where Will Levis could go, but ultimately falling to 33, your emotion when you did get drafted, it juiced me up. But I'm sure there was a lot on your mind up until that point.
No doubt. Yeah, it was a lot. Long process, going through that whole year, throughout my whole senior season, kind of hearing the things I was hearing from the people that I trusted about, potential for the draft, and stayed steady in that first round kind of grade, the entire year. And it was cool to see that and hear those things. And, despite the stressful season that I had, not the greatest way that I wanted to end my college career, but still, based on what I'd heard, had a really good shot there going in first half of the first round even. So pretty cool to.
What conversations are you having with teams too? Like to where it cements you even more into thinking, I don't know exactly where I'm going to go, but it seems like I could go in the first half of day one.
Exactly. The top 30 visits I was taking, the interviews that I was having with these teams, some teams at the end of the first round were kind of like not even telling me like, you're probably not going to be there when we're there anyways. So like, nice to meet you, but yeah. So it had
to be a great feeling when they say that too.
Yeah, I was like,
you probably won't be there, but good luck in your career. And you're like, oh, I might not be there actually.
No, I mean, but we got there, and I was all ready. I got my nice suit on. I rented, I think, a like $100,000 paddock. I had to send it back the next day.
I had to send it back.
Sent it back. Didn't even get seen with it on.
Financially, that's a smart move. Smart move.
Oh, that's awesome.
Gosh, what else happened that day? We were on the red carpet in Kansas City. I got everyone at the draft on the red carpet that did this interview got a 100-inch television from a brand that I won't say because no free shoutouts.
No free shoutouts.
Smart.
But
move.
They're expecting everyone in the draft to have first round money to be able to have a nice big house to put this 100-inch TV in, right? Get a nice big wall. Meanwhile, I'm over here, second round money in my 1-bedroom apartment, taking up the entire wall.
That might be even better, actually. It might be even better.
There's mom and dad. Yeah, that was fun though. That was really cool. And then just sitting there in that room, we knew that if it got past really the Titans first round pick, it might be a long night. Or if someone didn't trade up for me towards the end of that first round, so we were kind of just waiting on that, like waiting on maybe a phone call. And I think at pick 29, get a phone call from somebody. It was a prank call from somebody.
You got a prank call.
Yeah.
on
Was it somebody
draft
you
night?
knew?
Yeah, no, random number.
Oh my god!
I still have the number saved. I'll find them someday.
What,
Oh, your wheels out for vengeance.
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
what's
It
the,
was
what
Jack
was the
McPherson.
conversation?
No, they just like
They just sat there?
snickered and like hung up. Yeah.
They laughed.
Yeah.
God. And at 29, you're sitting there thinking,
I-
how the fuck do I get out of
I
this
literally
room?
got off the phone. I said, "Let's go, guys."
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't stay for the last 3 picks.
No. I think it was in between
At that
30
point,
and
you're so
31, maybe
pissed
not
off.
29.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because there was only 31 picks.
Dude, what is the feeling like? What is the feeling like when the Titans one goes by? So you and your parents are sitting there and you're like, it's probably going to be a long night, but now you're getting into the 20s and more cameras are coming
I
towards you.
know.
Yeah.
It essentially goes from, hey,
at the rage.
yeah, the pick is in. Oh, this is who it's picked. Now let's go to Will Levis and see what his facial expression is doing, which is, buddy, that's got to be.
What else are you
feeling.
going to do? You know, I mean,
No
I feel like
doubt.
we did a good job. We
And I
just
bet-
kept it.
In this moment, I don't know how
stone
you
cold.
are. That's your mom right there.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're like, Mom, please, for the love of God, you're making it way
Yeah,
worse.
exactly.
Just by,
Like,
just by
just
sitting
look
here.
straight.
Yes. Just look. Just please, just stare into the distance.
There was one point where we were playing cards. I brought cards. They didn't want to film that. I don't know why, but that
In
was
the draft
fun.
room?
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
they're
we're just
weird.
like,
In the green
F
room playing
this, like
cards.
playing euchre, just messing around.
And so you at 30, you're like, I'm getting the hell out of here.
I think it was just as the last pick was coming in, but in between the 30, 31st, I think that's when the call came, and we were like, yeah, let's pack this show up and go back to the hotel. I think there was a rack of Shake Shack burgers waiting for us. It was supposed to be
Nice.
celebratory. I had about
Yeah,
like
nice.
4 and then went to bed.
Just pissed off, bro.
Pissed off eating.
Eating all the emotions.
All right, we interrupt this episode to bring you game time. Football season is here, and we can't wait to get out to some great games this fall. And with the help of Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports, you know how much we love Game Time.
I love Game Time, dude.
Now, with their brand new Game Time Picks feature, they're making it even easier to get to a game. The Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of different tickets out there. Just pull up your chosen event and turn on the GT Pick setting at the top of the screen, or browse the best local Game Time Picks deal near you on your Game Time app homepage. What are you waiting for, boys? Go to Game Time, buy your tickets today. It is week 1 of college football season. Whether you're around A&M College Station, you want to buy tickets to that College Station game, whether you're in Florida, going to go to the Miami, Florida game, download the Game Time app today and use code BUSSIN to easily score great deals with the new Game Time Picks. What time is it?
Game Time.
Back to the episode. Dude, who do you feel like in your own selfish brain feel like okie doked you the most, to where maybe you were excited to potentially go there and you felt like you were getting kind of the best vibe of going there and they didn't end up getting you, to where maybe it's like, you know, you can't wait to get them back one day. Maybe
Could
you
low key,
have.
it could be the Titans.
Well, the Titans. He's with the Titans.
Yeah, but it's like, yo, y'all could have picked me at 1. Or your
Yeah,
first round pick at
yeah.
11. What are y'all doing?
Yeah.
That's true.
I'm sure there was a piece of you at first that was like, fuck the Titans. And
Yeah,
then,
I should
and then
walk into
33
this
came, you're like,
building
"Yo,
every day
tighten up."
and try to show them that I should have been their first round pick. That's
Yeah.
true. But
And then
no,
you
I
look
mean,
at Skoronski every day like, you son of a bitch. You took,
hey, they made a good pick with him. I love Petey.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not gonna give anybody any, but there were definitely those few teams. I think the ones that I thought I had a good shot at going to. There was actually murmurs. I think a lot of people were putting bets on me to go first overall. Not a lot, but like some, because like someone on Reddit had leaked that I had told like a family member or something that Carolina was going to pick me number 1 overall. That didn't happen. I told my family the opposite. I said that they were not going to pick me. They pretty much told me it was like a formality to invite me in.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't gonna
Oh, for real?
No, but
Just like checking a box so they can
No.
throw them off the scent.
I mean, it was just the vibe I got. But no, I knew I was pretty 99% confident I wasn't going there. Wasn't feeling great about Houston, but Indy I felt good about. Atlanta I felt decent about. I don't know, like Vegas. There was a few other teams, but Tennessee and Indy were the two that I felt were really vibing with me most. But
So it's Indy you like to play against.
yeah, I mean, I want to beat anybody in our division, especially. But
But Indy
yeah.
really stands
And
out.
by the way, you're phenomenal
off
at
the
the
page.
politically correct media.
Yeah.
Like, you've been well trained.
Yeah.
No doubt. But we all know it's Indy.
It's
It's
Indy.
Indy. Those
No,
damn
I mean-
Colts. Anthony Richardson catches his shoulder. Will was like,
no, I love
I'm
AR.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Dude, you had an interesting journey in college too. Like you were with Penn State for what?
3 years.
3 years?
Yeah, 2.5 years really. I got my undergrad there, and then I was right in the middle of the. There's a lot of big changes in the college landscape during my college career because you had to be a graduate to be immediately eligible before the transfer portal. And then when I transferred, that was right when they established the transfer portal. So I didn't really have to be a graduate, but that's what I was like on track for because I wanted to be able to play right away. So transferred to Kentucky and then had 2 seasons there and caught it for the last year of NIL too. So just a lot of weird changes, but yeah, 3 years at Penn State, 2 at Kentucky.
What why transfer to Kentucky? Why Kentucky over the others that I'm sure?
Ball. I wasn't getting the opportunities I wanted to. At the quarterback position, like I said, only one plays, and the guy who was starting for me, Sean, who I'm really close with, he's with Green Bay now. He was only 1 year above me, so it's one of those things. Like I was looking at it from most guys who go on to get selected in the draft and have a good professional career start for more than 1 year in college. And just to get that experience, I thought it was going to be important for me. So getting my undergrad and getting to Kentucky and starting for 2 years there was the plan from the jump. And, things worked out pretty well.
Was there quarterback competitions going on at Penn State?
A little bit, yeah. After my freshman year, spring training, we did, spring ball. We had a little bit of a competition and I just came out, just got edged out. So Sean ended up getting the job, and then I was putting in kind of a wildcat 3rd down goal line quarterback situation spot, and I just really wasn't getting the opportunities to throw the ball that I wanted to and needed to. So,
would you get told by the coaching staff that your opportunities would come and happen, and then when it wouldn't happen, it almost frustrates you more? That would almost buy into like, hey, I think I'm going to take off after this year. Not in like a selfish way, but just in the way that every competitor wants. Like, how you have certain conversations with coaches at times where you feel like, hey, in this, maybe we're up in the second half and I'll get in there more. Yeah. Or maybe you'll get, whether it's garbage time, whatever, but hey, we're going to rotate you in. We're looking at doing the plan this way this week. And most of the time, it doesn't go that way. Were those things playing into your situation at all? Or was it just Sean was the guy? It never really changed from that, and then you're like, hey, I got to kind of think about my own future.
Yeah, I just kind of saw the right, and I feel like I just wasn't getting the opportunities as much as they tried to kind of involve me and give me different opportunities to even throw the ball a little bit. It was mostly just stuff that I knew at the end of the day wasn't going to get me prepared and give me the experience I needed to play quarterback at the NFL level. So, I loved it. It made me a better football player in general. Like I think, the stuff I did in the run game there and what we were doing with the different quarterbacks and what have you was a lot of fun. But I wasn't, for one, I wasn't good enough in the drop back passing game. They didn't trust me that way. So I understand why they didn't play me, but I needed that experience to get better. Right. So that's what I was really looking for. And Kentucky gave me that opportunity. So I ended up, getting the reps that I needed to develop as that, more pure passer, and really benefited me.
Did you ever doubt yourself? Because it sounds like when you're going through the transfer portal, you're like, I need an opportunity to show because I need to go to the NFL and do X, Y, and Z. Was there ever a point at Penn State where you're like, maybe I just can't do it?
No.
Did you ever doubt yourself at all?
No, I always had, pretty solid confidence in myself and my ability. I knew that if I had the opportunities to get the experience that I needed, then, it'd be hard to stop me. So I was excited for that, and to get the chance to do that at Kentucky was fun. And I just knew I had the attributes. I just didn't have the opportunity to put them on display yet. And I was glad I did.
That photo reminds me
of Miami.
Jack, you didn't mess with Will Levis at first, right?
Don't do this.
You got the photo of him jumping over to Tennessee, and it was kind of making me think. I was like, wait a minute. No, Jack was kind of, before the draft happened.
Will, I'm Jack. Nice to meet you.
Tell him what happened.
Lifelong Titans fan. All right, so when you were not selected in the first round, I put out a tweet, And it was like, when you don't select Will in the first round, it's some like dumb dancing gif. And it was nothing against you. It was purely for the value play. The second round when we got you, I was
Before
like, this
that
is
week,
awesome.
though, on Bussin', you're like, I hope we don't get
Well,
Will.
I'm a Tennessee guy. I'm a Tennessee fan. So, you know, previous season, it was fun to go back and forth. So you have a rival quarterback coming into Tennessee, and, you know, you want to have as much fun with it as possible. But when you got selected in the second round, and then when you had your first breakout game with the Titans, when you and D-Hop had those, like, Matt, what was it, 3 TDs, something like that, I did my due diligence, and in the parking lot afterwards, I said, I was wrong. And I said, I'm fully on the Levis train, and I want him to be as successful as he can, whether it's with the Titans or somebody else. So I'm fucking stoked. I've been singing your praises around town. I know you're going to be a dog out there. So, but it takes a man to admit when he was wrong. And
April
I was.
27th,
Hey, it takes a man. It takes a
2023.
man.
April 27, 2023. Anthony Richardson, greater sign, Will Levis.
Wait, what?
Jack McPherson.
Are you? Or
That's-
he
He doesn't even
getting?
remember.
Yeah, I don't even remember that, but. That obviously, again, I was wrong. Go pull the video of me showing where I was
This is
wrong.
the video. POV. The Titans passed on Will Levis.
Dude. Yes, and I was wrong.
Dude, we're feeling a Super Bowl contending team this time. This
Hey,
year.
I'll tell you.
And then who was it? Freezing Cold Takes, the Twitter account. They just repost anybody who's fucked up. When you got drafted, immediately, I was in Florida on a bachelor trip, and I start getting notification. You'd been drafted, and I'm catching a lot of heat everywhere. And I was like, this is fine. We want somebody who wants the job, and I'm here to motivate him. That's my goal.
It's a spin zone.
And then when he came in, him and D-Hop had that game. It was a great first showing, and I couldn't be happier. I have a
I want to find the tweet.
I have a number 8 Titans jersey. I have a number 8 Titans jersey. So
What's the name of that?
Mac. I mean, that's my name though, but it's still, you know.
And,
everyone-
another part, just to go ally for
Listen,
Jack
this
a
is
little
what you
bit.
want.
Hey,
You want
one of-
the day ones, the guys who grew up Titan fans, to be pissed off.
Not
and
just
then
that.
be turned around 180
But
being like, this is our savior.
He's also that much more heels on the ground because he's such a diehard Tennessee fan that basically any kind of quarterback in the SEC, he almost wants them to fail. Did
Not
Kentucky
anymore,
beat
though.
Tennessee that year?
No, I was 0-2 against Tennessee in my career.
I didn't
tough.
bring that
I was
up.
gonna say it would.
I wasn't
almost-
gonna bring that up.
That would
That
have
smile said
That would have
everything.
all connected it, huh? That would have all connected it.
Yeah,
No, I really am. I will. I'm a massive Levis fan now. I'm really happy you're on the bus, and it takes a man to admit when he's wrong, and so I do apologize to you.
I love how you
sincerely.
Jack, was there a piece
I
of
love
you
how
that
you keep
thought,
saying it
I
takes
hope
a
they don't
man,
bring it up the whole
takes a
podcast?
man.
I looked at the show notes and I was like, all right, they don't have my name on there, but I knew you motherfuckers are gonna sneak it in at some point. So.
I really not until that Tennessee pick. I was like, that's right. Jack didn't like you. Hey, I love how you keep throwing
stop
in.
saying I didn't like him.
I love how you
It's
keep
just
saying
a
it
fan.
too.
You hated Will Levis.
Yeah.
You hated
Talk
him.
about him like he's not here.
Yeah.
Hey, like how he just sneaks in
And just
every time. He's
knowing
like,
Will for the short time, Will's like, so you're computing all this. And you're
Yeah.
like, more of a chip on my shoulder. Good.
He was
Good.
the prank
just
caller.
know that it takes a man. It takes a man to
Right,
admit
Will?
when he's wrong.
Right,
I
Will? It
was
takes a
wrong.
man.
And I'll be wearing my 8 jersey every home game. I'll be in there.
Don't let him,
Jack
don't let him
never
have
had-
that. We'll
Jack
tell
never had a
security to
77
never
jersey.
let him in again. That would be hilarious. If there's just a photo, a mugshot of you, you can't get in Titans games. You'd be wrecked.
That would be good for us. That would hurt. That would hurt me. But you know, if that's what means bringing a Super Bowl to Nashville, I'd be willing to do that for the city of Nashville.
What a good transition, dude. How were you received when you first got to Tennessee? How do you like? Were people excited about it?
It was definitely like half and half, I'd say.
Yeah.
There were definitely people that were very excited, and there were definitely people, like you, who were stuck in
Yeah,
their
give it
college
to 'em.
roots.
Give it to 'em.
Who regardless,
Stuck in their college roots.
Yeah. No, but I knew that it was gonna take some convincing for
Yeah.
some Tennessee fans. So I still got a lot to prove, and but just trying to keep doing the right things to turn those people's opinions around.
Right. And so your camp goes by. We don't hear a whole lot. Couple weeks go by. Now all of a sudden the Tennessee Titans are wearing the Houston Oilers uniforms for the first time. Tannehill's got an ankle. He's got a little ankle issue. He's not be able to put the uniform on. It's your first time going out. What was it like going on Nissan Stadium for the first time?
So sick. I mean, first of all, I've been waiting to wear baby blue, light blue my entire life. Just like the swaggiest, coolest.
The coolest
color.
uniforms.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the coolest uniforms
Yeah.
in all the NFL.
Exactly. And to be able to start my NFL career in those, that gave me a little confidence boost. That was cool for sure. But it was fun, and it was a pretty serendipitous situation. Because
oh shit! Look that up.
Google serendipitous.
Yeah.
No, like just with Ryan getting hurt, and then we had the bye the next week, so I really had 2 weeks to prepare for this first game of mine. So that was nice, and just was also coming back from a little bit of an injury from training camp, and it was perfectly kind of timed up with where I was finally feeling, even just that week, like healthy enough to play and confident enough to go out there and do my thing. So it worked out really well, and I just feel like everything came together that game, and all the stuff we dialed up were there. I was seeing things clearly. Hop was doing his thing and pulling everything down and finding his way to the end zone a few times, and it was crazy. It was also like one of those things too, where as well as it felt like it was going on offense and how everything was clicking, it was still a 1-score game, like by the end of the game. And that was my first, like, oh shit, this is the NFL. Like every game is going to come down to the wire. We're going to have to pull this out. And just what a great way to, get your career off started, and gave me a lot of confidence to finish off the rest of that year. For
Dude,
sure.
It was fucking awesome. It seemed like D-Hop was in your ear all week being like, yo, just throw me the ball. That's the receiver you want. You want your receivers to be like that.
Yeah. I want my receivers to be, dickheads about wanting the ball.
Yeah, you want them to be selfish.
Yes.
Like, hey, throw me the ball. Get frustrated when they're not getting the ball in the first 3 plays of the game.
Yeah.
My boy Colt McCoy, who was the backup for Arizona, who played some games last year, a couple years ago. But whenever D-Hop was on the Cardinals, but he'd come to the sideline, D-Hop would be like, bro, just throw me the ball. And sometimes he said he would just make up a route on the fly, and he would just throw it to him. Because he'd just be like, he'd be like, hey, just trust me, like, just throw me the ball. Like, don't worry about what they keep calling. Like, just throw me the ball.
Don't worry about what they keep calling.
Don't worry about what coach guys.
Yeah. But yeah, you had D-Hop, and now you've got, Ridley, you got 2 backs, Pollard and Spears. Like, you at Chig, you have so many guys, so many tools. Like, do you feel like you've got everything you need?
Yeah. And it's going to be tough because a lot of guys are, deserve the ball and are going to want the ball. So it's just going to be on me to, just trust what I see and play within the offense. But we have a lot of fun players at our fingertips, and the backs are going to be a lot of fun to play with, and getting them in different formations, getting an empty 2 backs in the game. They're both incredible catching the ball out of the backfield. They both do some amazing things, crazy things. Did you see Tajay trying to jump over that guy yesterday? That was crazy. Antonio Brown someone yesterday.
Kicked him in the head?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was great. He fell from like 9.5 feet up. But that fired me up because, not a lot of guys even think about doing stuff like that. He was back in his home state. He was a little juiced up. But,
Leonidasing somebody and just essentially kicking them in the face.
Yes.
But dude, Miami game. Yeah. Putting your right shoulder into somebody and everyone's getting hyped up, and I know Vrabel was like, listen, brother, don't ever fucking do that.
No, that was tough. That hurt. I mean, when I see Jalen next, I'll tell him that, I probably got the shorter end of the stick on that one. But no, that was cool, and that was a big play and a big game, and probably our most fun win last year for sure.
So, it has to be, man. Yeah. What a comeback.
We interrupt this episode to bring you Shady Rays. Get ready for game day with the latest addition to the Barstool Sports Rival Collection, Barstool College. Shady Rays has partnered with Barstool Sports to bring you a new lineup of premium polarized shades that are perfect for showing off your team pride. The Barstool College Collection features bold colorways inspired by some of the biggest names in college sports, ensuring you'll find the perfect pair to rep your team. Elevate your game day look with the Barstool College Collection. Head over to shadyrays.com and use code BOYS, BOYS, to get a generous 35% off polarized sunglasses. See for yourself why over 300,000 people have rated these shades 5 stars. Again, shadyrays.com, use code BOYS. Back to the episode. When you talk about leadership, like, what are things that you can do? Like, you talked about all the weapons you have, like keeping guys in it. Maybe they're not guys who really get down on themselves, but you know that the ball is going to have to get spread around, or guys feed off maybe touching the ball early in the game, touching the ball more. Maybe they don't mind to fall back, but like, what do you do? Like, what are you conscious of when being a leader in those situations when you have that many weapons?
Yeah, no, I think it's just conscious of what you just said. It's conscious of how guys tick and how guys need to be, motivated, and if guys do need to have that boost of confidence or moment to kind of get them going in a game or in practice or something. So it's there isn't a uniform way of leadership throughout the team. Right. I feel like it's just a way of understanding people more so than having a strategy with how you go about it. But it's a tough job. It's probably a harder job than the quarterback position itself, the leadership job, I'm saying. And I'm still growing in it. I'm getting better as the days go on. I think I wanted to go into camp, and like I feel like it's like one of those things too where you got to earn it with your actions. Like you got to earn how you play on the field. Like you can't just go out there and start talking. At least some guys feel like they can, but I feel like I have to kind of prove it with my actions before I can back it up with how I talk or how I act in that way. So camp was great because, being able to get some good reps in camp and to, ingratiate myself with the guys and to ingrain myself with the guys and show them that I am our guy and the leader for this team. And that was just a great few weeks of progress for me to just keep, climbing in that role.
How do you differentiate being the leader you want to be and not forcing it as opposed to letting it come to you?
Exactly. It's got to be natural. Like you can't just decide like, hey, I'm going to be the rah-rah guy today and I'm going to get guys fired up. And you got to make sure that you're true to how you feel and kind of what you want to get out of it. And there's it's not to say that you can't change. I think that's a big misconception. Like guys think that they're this type of teammate and they have their whole life and they've just stayed that way because they might be afraid to walk in the next day and people would be like, wait, that's not who you are, but it's not bad to consciously kind of try to change the way you are for the betterment of yourself and the team. And I feel like I've done a few things and tweaked the kind of ways that I've just interacted with people and just been around the building, and it's helped me for the better. So I was stuck in that for a long time too. Like I didn't want to be inauthentic. I didn't want to be the guy that I'm not, but I realized it wasn't that. It's more so I have, this vision for who I want to be. What do I need to change and improve in my life and in my actions and in my values to get me to that position? And when I got over the fear of being inauthentic in that pursuit, then it, improved me a lot.
I love that, dude. Do you listen to Brady a lot when he's on, whether he's doing interviews? Because we're talking about leadership, there was something really fascinating that when he was breaking it down, it made, like talking about like knowing guys. He was talking like if you're the X receiver, if you're like one of the top receivers, most of the time you're running out of the huddle every time out, usually outside the numbers. Your route tree's cut in half. Like these guys who got to do that play in and play out, and sometimes they're not touching the ball early. And he would talk about how he'd communicate like, hey, we'll get you going, because he's just aware of the fact that, even though they have this diva perception by everybody else, he's like, you got to understand these guys come to the huddle, they run outside the numbers. Everything is like halfway cut off for them.
By themselves.
Yeah, they're by themselves. They're going as hard as possible. And then the one or two times they don't, they get kind of like, they get that stigma. But he's like, just understanding that, even knowing how to try and communicate with those guys throughout the game if they're not touching the ball earlier, or knowing you got to get it to them quick just to like keep them involved. I always thought that was real fascinating. And I forget the question that I initially asked because now I'm thinking about
You're talking
Tom
about Brady and if I when you see him I guess having interviews, is he somebody you like gravitate towards? Yeah, I mean that's the guy I've looked up to my entire life, and obviously being from where I'm from and being a Patriots fan and Boston sports fan, like that was my idol. Like growing up, like that's who I wanted to be, the winner that I wanted to be. So yeah, anytime I can listen to him and speak on whatever he can about the position or leadership, it's definitely something that I pay attention to.
I forget that you're a Boston guy. Stoolie.
Yeah. Stoolie, big time Stoolie.
Big Stoolie.
Grew up on it.
Yeah, I was telling them I was kind of that first generation of like Instagram. I think I was like more Facebook first, but I think I got Instagram in like 7th grade or something. And it was my buddy. He was like, yo, you got to follow this page, Barstool Sports. It was like probably one of my first follows after like just like my best friends and stuff. It was like Barstool Sports, ESPN Sports Center.
Yeah.
And
no shit.
Yeah. So it's just funny. We were talking about that before, and now look at
who's your favorite Barstool personality?
It was
that's it.
I'm a Big Cat guy. I love Big Cat.
So you're anti Portnoy?
No. I was gonna say Dave because I think I knew Dave first, but I was PM Pardon My Take guy. I listened to them for years, so I'm still a big fan of the show. But they're great, and Dave's great. I've met Dave a couple times. They are Big Cat a couple times as well. They came to Lexington for the Breeders' Cup a couple years ago.
Oh yeah.
We were hanging out afterwards at some bar, so that was cool.
We were in New York for the draft, and Big Cat was talking about you, saying you were a Stoolie guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was singing your praises a little bit. he was about it. So you got a fan on the other side as well.
Awesome. Yeah.
Do you have?
No.
Should we go Mayo? Should we go? I also want to. You seem like you come from a family of athletes. Your old man played. Your mom was an All-American soccer player.
She was beast.
Is she where you get your genetics?
Yeah. I think she had a freaking six-pack until she had her fourth kid. So yeah, she is a beast, and she was the, tomboy, did it all kid, and as a kid growing up, and played baseball until high school, I think, and then found soccer as her sport, and ended up going to Yale. Was All-American there, and yeah, just a grinder. And both her and my dad were big athletes. My dad played D3 football at Denison University in Ohio.
Yeah. Your uncle played?
Yeah, at Yale, football, running back, and then my mom and his dad. My mom and my uncle's dad was a coach at Yale for 25 years. So
I did read like Yale. I think I read Cornell somewhere. It makes sense with the what was the word he said earlier? Superfluous.
Superfluous?
Yeah, superfluous.
I don't believe that was the word.
that was not the word.
That was not the word. That's
We're
not
trying
the
to
word.
put it together.
Serendipitous.
Hell yes.
Superfluous. Yeah, but a lot of academic. I'm sure a lot of expectation in the household growing up.
Yeah, a lot. I don't think it was more like expectations more so than it was. I think me and my sisters realized that there were just a lot of, impressive, like established people around us, and we wanted to do our best to just live up to our family's name. And I think our parents told us that from a young age, more so from a respect standpoint, not a performance standpoint. Just everything that we do is going to reflect our family's name for the rest of our lives, and we took that very seriously. And all of us just went hard as shit in everything that we did. And me and all my sisters are, I think we're all proud of the spot we put ourselves in. And the youngest one's gonna be a junior in high school, and she's gonna start getting some offers to play lacrosse in college. So she'll be the last one, but they did a heck of a job with us as kids growing up to put us in the position to succeed.
That's awesome. So all athletes, your sisters.
The oldest one is not anymore. She was an excellent athlete. The middle one just graduated from Central Connecticut. She played lacrosse there. Just moved here, actually. She's going to school at Belmont for grad school.
Nice.
And the youngest is still in high school, but she's probably the best athlete of all of us. Yeah, she's a beast.
Just an entire family.
See what
entire
happens there.
fleet.
Where is the family located now? Are they
Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Madison, Connecticut.
Got
Yes.
you. And then when everyone's out of the house, do you think your parents are going to move from Connecticut, come down to Nashville?
They've been talking about it. They've been talking, not Nashville specifically, but just like getting somewhere further down south. But last time I talked to them, they said no.
Yeah.
They're liking the New England living. So
When it's all said and done for you, you're thinking back up to the Northeast?
I don't know. I think I definitely have like a dream vacation spot up there, like whether, on Nantucket or like Martha's Vineyard, something like that. And I think that would be a really cool second contract, something
Yes,
to
sir.
look at.
Yeah, right next to Portnoy.
So, yeah. But I don't know. My mind's not quite there yet, but
Yeah.
there's definitely some really nice.
It's always fun to
areas in the
dream.
Northeast. Yeah, for
Always
sure.
fun to dream.
Always fun to dream, and also pros and cons of not going the first round. There's no fifth-year option.
Ooh.
Did somebody give you that conversation?
Yes, yeah.
And
yeah.
that's a huge win. So
Yeah.
now, after next year, it's like, boys, you better pay the fuck up.
Just gotta
He
keep doing
said,
my
you
job.
know?
You know what I'm saying?
So
Right?
you're going to do it, right?
Yeah. So the numbers got to be there. The first time I ever heard about you, you were at the SEC Media Days, and you took a cup of coffee and some mayonnaise.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
Put some mayonnaise in a cup of coffee. What are we doing?
Okay, I'll give the whole rundown. So
Yeah, give me the rundown on that, because I know we got a fragrance out now that is
Yep.
literally sold out. You can't even get your hands on it.
Yep.
And you've really taken this thing and put it to the moon. But it started with a cup of coffee and some mayonnaise.
Yeah, it was wild. In college I was pretty active on social media, like just posting BS that I thought was funny on TikTok, whatever. If I thought it was funny, it was going up, and I thought other people might get some laughs at it too. And yeah, I was making a little cash on it too. I was helping on the marketing deal with NIL and stuff being there. I was grinding my ass off, fellas. I didn't have no collective to hand me any money.
Yeah,
I
do
made
your thing.
I didn't really make much, but I had to work for what I made in college, and I'm proud of it. But it was a breakfast I was at, and we got our coffees, and there was no cream or sugar on the table, just a bottle of Mayo. And the person I was with was just like, "Hey, you should post a video of you drinking it or something. Instead, that must be how they drink their coffee down here or something like that." And I was like, you know what, I will. And so I poured the Mayo in and stirred it up, made a little stupid little video, and It was funny. People liked it. And then it got re-picked up when I went to SEC Media Day, and they asked me to do it again. And then that kind of sparked it again. And then it kind of picked up some more steam during the draft when everyone's trying to find all the dirt and shit to pick up about people like, who's going to draft this freaking idiot?
Psychopath.
This Mayo lover.
Stuff. Yeah. So that was a weird process because I was like trying to convince people that I'm not this psychopath weirdo with a weird sense of humor.
They want you to be the face of the franchise.
Exactly.
You're like, dog.
Yeah. So dealing with that, and I really like at first was like, I don't want this to be a part of my personality. I want to be known for the person that I am, not like this silly antics that I might pull on camera. And it didn't take long to kind of shift that thought process when I talked to the Hellman's marketing team, and they're like, no, I think there's something here. Like, you should lean into this. Like, we could do a really funny campaign. It was authentic in terms that I actually do really like mayonnaise, and specifically Hellman's, which was a staple in my family's fridge my entire life. So talking to them and it just made me realize like, hey, like, no, this is funny. We can make this even more funny. And at the same time, I'm going to get a pretty sweet deal out of it too. So we did a couple of things last year. They extended me for a couple more years, and we did this crazy.
Hey, you crushed the commercial, bro.
Cologne commercial, yeah.
How long were you on set doing that bullshit over and over and over and over?
Yeah.
This was at the Titans practice facility. It was the longest day of my summer. Actually, I did the Live Pro-Am at the Grove here in Nashville, which was an awesome weekend. And then I did a radio show for an hour, and then I did that shoot from 4 to midnight.
4 to midnight.
Yeah, it was a long day, and I'm pumped with how it came out. And there should be something else coming out soon with them, which will should be fun. So I'm excited to show people.
You want to break it here?
We can see a sneak peek. We can see a sneak peek. Oh, I'll just show you one still shot from it that'll kill you guys.
What kind of sneak peek are we getting?
A still shot. It sounds like of something coming out soon.
A new promo.
Yeah.
When does the
just backed by?
I think it comes out tomorrow. Yeah, it's Tuesday.
Oh, well, then you can talk
Exactly.
about it
Yeah,
because
'cause
this comes out tomorrow.
We need to get you on Hellman's Baked Beans.
Excuse me?
No, Will.
I'm a big Baked Bean fan. No. Is that real?
No.
I didn't know. You know what I mean?
Hey, it looks
he's
good.
limber. He's strong. Look at him.
That is funny as hell. That comes out. So that photo comes out tomorrow, or
It's
what
a
comes
video. That's just a still shot from the video, but
Are you able to say the brand?
No, this
it's Hellman's. It's Hellman's.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's Hellman's.
Yeah, it's a Hellman's.
Yeah, it's a Hellman's ad.
Hellman's.
Yeah.
Bro, it's amazing.
Dog, the leg thing is so funny.
He said no.
It reminds
He
me
said
of
it's
those
not
old
real.
school Old Spice commercials.
Yeah,
ever
that's what
seen
they
those?
remind me of. That's what this whole campaign reminds me of like
Yeah.
kind of the old school Old Spice, because it's so tongue in cheek. Like it's
The Old
I
Spice
like it.
commercials were awesome.
So good.
Yeah, they were unbelievable. So they're the biggest player as far as your marketing goes. Is there anybody else you have your eyes on that you're like, I would
Ooh.
love to be sponsored by?
I've been saying it ever since NIL. I think the day NIL became a thing, I tweeted at Levi's jeans. I was like, let's do something here. So I mean, it's been thrown out there. I'll keep poking them, but we'll get there eventually, I think. But
Let's talk about True Classic.
Dude, have you
You
put
ever
a
wore
True
some True
Classic t-shirt
Classic?
on before?
I haven't actually.
I'll tell you what, your arms would look fantastic.
Yeah?
Brother,
in a
you've
True
already got
Classic
the
shirt.
physique going on, but you put a True Classic t-shirt on and their jeans, unstoppable.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to
There's-
go out in
there's
Nashville.
no
All the ladies
question.
would seriously be jumping at you.
There's
Like,
no
I gotta go
question.
back up to my 1-bedroom apartment with my 100-inch screen TV.
We'll
I
hook
can't
you
be
up with
down
some
here.
True Classic, and then you can think about it.
Levi's is good, but it's not the 70s anymore. It's not the
Hey.
No. It's time to move on
I'm
and
just
go to
saying,
True Classic.
I feel like we're confident enough to put our reputation on the line for True Classic. I think you'll love it.
Yeah.
I would
think
love
you
some.
will
I'd love to
absolutely
try
love it,
some.
yeah.
I'm very specific with my jeans. Like even with Levi's, like I think it'd take a special cut for me to be like, all right, let's do this the right
That's
way.
all we needed.
That's all
we needed.
That's all we need.
Because I think,
True
I won't
Classic
say
came on
anymore.
with
I won't
us.
say anymore.
And I got these long legs.
Yeah.
And so they didn't even make 36 length. They ended up making a 36 length for me, and it's the best fitting jean I've ever had
Nice.
in my life.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah. Should we go shout out no for shout out? Should we get into some
I was about to
segments,
say, how do
Will?
you ask that question and then how am I supposed to say something without there being a free shout out? You know, like
True, yeah, but
I know. I was thinking
this is
about it
like
too. I was
a-
like, oh man,
It's kind of like
free
a seed,
shout-out,
though. You're
but
putting a seed in the ground.
Yeah, but
You're
also
like, hey.
he's helping him try to get a new deal.
Right, yeah, because there's no shout outs. But if you want something, this is where you asked it.
Exactly.
This is where you want something.
Our shout out, no free shout out segment is brought to us by Duke Cannon. Duke Cannon. It's the off season, boys. That means it's time to elevate your game by working harder and smelling better with our friends from Duke Cannon. Throw away your old body wash and deodorant because you smell like a JV locker room. Upgrade to Duke Cannon for a varsity level grooming routine. Duke Cannon scents are elite and their products are made for hardworking dudes like yourself, Will. As always, the boys got a special code just for the tier ones. Use code tier 1, that's TIER and the number 1 on DukeCannon.com for 15% off your first order. Duke Cannon, work harder, smell better. The boys do have a fragrance out, body wash, trophy game. Go check that shit out.
Yeah.
We bought a lot of product and gave them to the Vanderbilt O-line,
Yes.
the Hogs. They love it. We saw a couple people in Walmart shopping, and we are like, hey, we had to put them on
That
trophy
trainer,
game.
Lance.
Yeah, Lance. No, for shout-outs.
No,
Booker.
Lance Booker?
Yeah.
Lance Booker.
Oh, I guess he's one of the boys, so you can shout out the boys.
Yeah, you shout out the
Yeah, you
boys.
can shout out the
Absolutely
boys.
shout
Yeah.
out the boys.
But trophy game, go check that out. Again, Duke Cannon, work harder, smell better. As a matter of fact, I think we got you a little.
Just reach down to the right here.
Yeah, we got
Take
you
a
a little
Oprah.
care package.
Check out your
Don't even
chair.
trip,
Look what
bro.
you got there. Some
Put that in
Duke
your locker,
Cannon.
bro.
Ooh.
You'll like, hey, that little, what is that? That little case, that little
Oh,
loofah
yeah.
case.
What's that?
What's that called?
The
Scratchy
loofah case?
Loofah case.
Yeah.
You'll love that, bro. That'll be
Oh,
perfect.
is this for the shower?
Yeah,
You said?
yeah.
You put in take their big ass brick of soap. You put that in there, brother.
Mm.
You don't even have to take it out.
This
Yeah.
one.
Yes,
That's it.
trophy
Yeah.
game.
Trophy
yes.
game.
All right.
Open it up, smell it. Tell us what
Smells
you
like
think.
collegiate bragging
Give
rights.
us your first reaction.
Aggressive with that open.
I know,
Crazy.
right?
Ripping the shit out of that thing.
That's good stuff.
Yeah?
I'm excited. I feel like I'm just I raw dog it with the bar soap usually. So
Yeah,
perfect.
I need to add the loofah to the
Yeah.
game.
Add the loofah to the game.
Little
And you can
loofah
hang it up
case.
too. It's got a nice little hook. You can hang it up in the
Yeah.
showers with the boys. And Jeffrey Simmons walked by and be like, oh, what is that? He'd be like, oh, funny you asked. It's a big ass brick of soap. You should use it. Now all the boys are using it. All the boys.
There we go.
Who wants to start off? Shout out, no free shout out. Do you want to start it off?
Will, go ahead.
I don't. I need to think about a couple.
My shout out, no free shout out goes to Spooktober. 34 days away from the fall, finally hitting the breeze, cutting the heat, and the leaves falling on the ground, and 31 days of fright is just right around the corner. I'm fired up. This weekend, my kids and I, we went back to Michael's for the third time in 4 days, just so they could look at all the Halloween stuff, get all excited. My daughter's now planning what she's going to put in there, what she's going to be for Halloween and stuff like that, and it just fires me up that you can truly brainwash your children, ladies and gentlemen. If you give them an idea and enough times, they're going to take it and they're going to run with it. Both my kids are so fired up. That's Halloween a couple of years ago. Legs same size. My kids are just so fired up for Spooktober, and I feel like a proud parent. I feel like a very proud parent. So my
love
shout
that,
out goes
man.
to Spooktober.
That is great. They're more than a month away and they're already talking about it.
Yeah, oh, they're
Like, that's-
fired up.
Yeah.
Yeah. We start
Good stuff.
decorating September 1st.
Tis the season. Look, going off the spirit of true classic, and looking over at Will Levis's arms, but when you just wear that right shirt that just shows off the old trophy case you got on each side,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Thunder and lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my shout out. No free shout out is when that shirt fits you just right and them arms are looking good. Question for you, Will, and be honest. Please be honest. Just keep it a bean with the boys. How often do you check out your arms?
I feel like it's
And is it the
mandatory during lifts. It's mandatory. Like at the end, if you're trying to get your buys and tries in, like you got to give yourself a little, we're good.
Yeah.
But no, I wouldn't say it's like a.
I mean,
daily
you're
thing.
lying.
Your
Well, I just did it, so-
your game photos gotta make you horny when you see those arms.
I don't know. I'm my
They make me
genetics are
horny.
I gotta thank my mom. I think for giving me the, I don't know, vascularness. I don't know, but my body's always just been like a little.
Just
Nothing
Toned
like
up.
nothing like sitting on the bus making a dude feel comfortable about how good he looks.
Yeah, I know, bro.
You know,
I just-
because Will's
he
like,
makes
I don't
me
know how to
wanna
answer this question,
makes me just
buddy.
wanna flex.
You check him out all the time. It's all good.
Look at that, dude.
Look at that. Are you kidding me? That's a quarterback, not a linebacker. You got to feel proud about that.
I would kill one of my producers for your body. Like I would stab them with a 9-inch blade.
I think I
You.
would say though, like
Because you could roast you over a fire. Put an apple in your mouth.
Not
and just let it-
slug, dude,
just
not slug.
Yeah, big slug. Just slowly let that thing down.
Damn. So yeah,
Like I remember like that one
Where
right
wants
there.
to
Like
be
I
you?
posted, like, I think my progress from pre-draft. I was like, this is just how my body, the one to the left there, like how my body progressed, like through the few months.
second row.
And like I posted that because I was like, that's like good shit. You know, like I worked hard to like improve my body. Like that's not uncommon, like especially with athletes or people like tracking stuff like that. And then that was put out there and I just got dogged for it.
Dude, the fatties are gonna hate on that. But
Like-
listen, you got to be proud of that.
I am.
You got to be proud of that.
for sure. No, I worked hard and
Boy's got a back that would compete with Compton.
Yeah, he does look good.
Compton's
bro.
got a D1
You're
back.
trying to tell me you're just on creatine?
I've never taken
Creatine
anything.
and mayonnaise, dude.
Creatine, and I think the only other
Mayo.
subs that I took were collagen. Yeah, creatine, collagen,
I'm about to
and
get on that collagen.
protein. Yeah.
I mean, that top right photo, bro. You throw a tan on that,
Exactly.
We're competing.
I was in
We're
California
competing.
still looking like that
that's
somehow.
crazy. The leg,
I love how we're just looking at his photos.
Yeah.
You're like, look at that. Look at them.
dude. Good for you, man. Good for you.
Look
Why
at
don't you give us your shout out? No free shout out yourself. Shout out your
I
body.
guess my shout outs.
I was gonna say, shout out, no free shout out. You said I'm a quarterback, not a linebacker, but I'm gonna shout out that boy 44 on Georgia Tech. The shout out neck rolls.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Oh, that's a good
Shout out.
shout out.
Hadley was playing his ass off.
Shout
bro.
out neck rolls and the old linebacker no neck look. That just it brought a tear to my eye. It was like we are so back. College football's back, and it is a dying breed, but there are still some left apparently at the Georgia Tech Zoo. So
They were like, that player was like the first one they showed too in the first series. You're just like, oh, who is 44?
Yeah, 44 is fucking about that ass.
It's like they had to custom make his jersey. For
No doubt.
Right.
I mean, it's
Those are the biggest traps of all time on the boy.
Hey, Georgia Tech was scrappy now.
Scrapping, they got a dub
Yeah.
against a top 10 ranked college football team.
yeah.
Lost both my bets.
You already know he's had like 4 ACs on each side.
Yeah.
He's just trying to stack up.
Guy's not going to be able
Just
to
throwing
move his
lidocaine
neck when he's
in the
older.
shoulders each week.
Yes.
What a dog, dude. Georgia Tech.
Yeah,
Team,
Georgia
team to beat in the
Tech,
ACC. Team
maybe,
to beat.
Maybe. Florida State, bunch of frauds. You
It's
think Florida
tough
State's a
because
fraud?
I didn't even watch most of the game. I don't know.
You
you
Florida State's
saw the
fraud?
result of a top 10 team losing to Georgia
That's
Tech.
tough.
That's tough. And they played in the they didn't get in the college football playoff last year. Go to play against Georgia, who should have been in the college football playoff, and get donkey
Smoked.
stomped.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, we're a top 10 team.
Tough past
We should be in the
2
playoff this year, and
appearances.
they go and do something like that. That's tough.
Georgia Tech's nice though.
Georgia Tech's nice, but it's all the antics. Florida State that they're like suing the NCAA.
Right,
they were getting all
right.
mad.
They got a few Bama like they got a
They got like
talented
3
roster.
just on their defense. A talented roster, and then that. It's just like, my God.
A team with piss and vinegar, man.
Gotcha. They win 9 times out of 10.
Doesn't matter.
Shouting out neck rolls is probably your
Foreign
top
soil.
5
It
shout
was on
out
foreign
we've ever had
soil.
on this bus.
Yeah.
From the hip too. Like that was incredible. And he's kept us in check with the no free shout outs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Accountability. You like that out of your starting QB1.
Need that out of your starting QB1. Gotta have it.
Yeah.
Good shout. Any boys got shout outs in the back?
Shout out the Titans, first undefeated preseason since 2003. Let's go.
Shout out men who can admit that they're wrong.
Men.
Yeah, men.
Real man.
It takes a real man.
man.
It takes a real man.
Shout out to honeymoons.
No. Horny Hovey.
Not anymore. The best part was the sea turtle. So also shout out to sea turtles. 0 shout out to the people that make our oceans dirty, because I don't know why you would mess with these beautiful creatures. We went on a little sea turtle excursion, and probably like it was a baby sea turtle, and he comes swimming up like 6 inches to my face. The instructor dude, Danny, shout out Danny, he was awesome. He was like, do not move. Like if you touch it, I'll get fired. Like you could go to jail. I'm just like sitting there underwater like this, sick that I don't have a GoPro on me. And it's just getting closer and closer. And it was one of like the coolest, most like wholesome, almost spiritual experiences.
That's
Love
awesome.
that, man.
So it was cool. Yeah, it was Crush, bro. Crush and Uguay and me in the ocean.
Oogway, bro.
I hit the Nashville Zoo last week for the first time. I had like an hour
Sneaky solid
I had like an
zoo.
hour 45 to spare. We're like kind of in the area, and we saw the billboard. It's like
He just
let's
pulled
rip it.
off. Let's go. Let's go to the zoo.
I was so disappointed though, because they're advertising that red panda everywhere. pumped. I'm a big Red Panda fan. Speaking of Uruguay, Master
Yes.
Shifu.
Come on, bro.
Red
Come
Panda.
on. Let's go.
He wasn't there.
Bro.
We make trek all the
He
way
is on
through
the
the
boat.
zoo.
That red panda they have on all the billboards.
Yeah, all the billboards all over town. Like, come visit Nashville Zoo.
No.
Wasn't there.
That is
Empty
disappointing,
exhibit.
bro.
Oh
Empty
my
exhibit.
god! Did you ask anybody? Did you ask a person selling
I-
popcorn in the corner? Like, where's the red panda?
I
at?
couldn't find like someone reliable enough to ask a question to. We just went back to the lizard exhibit, which was pretty cool. But no.
Have you seen Red Panda?
The movie?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
thought
don't
you
think I
meant-
have.
I thought you meant the bowl girl. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Wait,
The halftime performer who does the unicycle and she kicks the
Oh,
ball.
no,
her
bro.
name's Red Panda too. That's what
No, I was
talking
thinking the Disney movie.
I was
you seen
thinking
the
the
Disney
Disney movie.
You
Oh,
talking about?
Going Red.
Going Red. My
Oh,
fault.
there is a
Oh,
Disney
my
movie
fault.
with the
Yeah,
Red
yeah,
Panda.
No, I've never
Solid
seen
movie.
that.
Oh,
Solid
I haven't
movie.
seen that.
What was the
Shout out, no free shout out. Going Red.
movies we were telling Willie's got to get on? How to Train Your Dragon?
Yeah, How to
Really
Train
good
Your
movies.
Dragon.
Have you popped that on for Rue yet?
The Bournes.
The boring
Jason
movies.
Bourne? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you? We're talking about Disney movies.
Oh, I thought we were saying movies that I got to get on.
Oh yeah. Okay, I guess so.
That
yeah.
noir that
Although
Sam
we had
was
the
talking
black
about.
and white '50s one.
Yeah, but he said it's
Oh,
a,
Nice Guys.
he said it's a no.
Nice Guys.
Saw Nice Guys.
What'd you think of Nice Guys?
I was right next to you. It was great.
Oh, that's right. You watched it on the plane. You watched it on the plane.
Yeah.
Which one's that?
No, Nice
Nice
Guys,
Guys
was
is
awesome. awesome.
Kiss Bang Bang is what you need to watch too. Very
Yeah,
similar. That's what
yeah.
Sam
Yeah.
suggested.
I'm
Kiss,
in the middle
Kiss,
of Your
Bang,
Honor
Bang.
right now. Just finished the first season.
Gotta
Nuts.
watch it.
gotta finish it. That's the one Jared put you on, right?
I think so. People,
you seen
yeah,
Nice
people
Guys?
have been talking about it.
Phenomenal
excited.
movie. If you like Ryan Reynolds, you're gonna like that movie.
Do you watch House of Dragon or Game of Thrones?
I do. I think I would finish 3 of the last season of House of Dragon so far. I got to catch up, but
So where are you at in House of Dragon?
the last thing I saw was the twins, the one that pretended to be the other to go try to kill
Oh yeah.
Raina.
All right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Speak more vaguely. Speak more vaguely.
You're
got
gonna be
one
so
episode.
disappointed in the finale.
God, don't say
I'm
that.
sorry. I'm
Don't say
sorry. I'm
that.
sorry. So disappointed.
It just goes to show you got to binge watch shows instead of staying up to date.
I just watched 100-Foot Wave. You guys seen that documentary?
No.
Oh my gosh. Our coaches were talking about it, and then I threw that on. Insane. About
What's it about?
Nazareth,
Probably about a
Portugal.
wave.
Yeah, the biggest waves in the world in Portugal. That dude's just
Surfing it?
Surfing it.
It's insane.
Ridiculous.
Didn't Edelman just do a podcast with one of the guys that did this? Well,
I think
Shout out
he
Games.
did. He
Shout
did.
out-
He was
Shout out
he was
Games
one of the
with
interviews in this. Yes. Yeah.
games with names.
Game's
yeah.
his name. Shout
yeah.
out the boy.
Yeah, dude, that is a fucking crazy thing. Well, I was
Death
out in
wish.
Maui in 2015 during like Jaws when they had that big swell
Mhm.
come in, and we were on this small little boat watching these dudes get towed in and hit those waves. It was insane. And essentially, the boat guys, like the guy driving the boat's like, "Hey, if these guys fall, they could basically just die."
Yeah.
It's how big and terrifying these waves are. What'd you laugh about?
During Jaws.
Yeah, Jaws is what the area is called
Got you.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's my bad. That's my bad.
during Jaws.
That's my bad.
That's all good, bro. That's all. I see you trying to catch me. What are we looking at
Have
here?
you seen Presumed Innocent?
No.
Great. That's a great show too. Check that one out. That one's
Yeah, I
done. You
know.
can binge that.
Yeah, I need to watch that show. I just have a hard time with shows, man. Movies better than shows, I think. Shows, shows
literally
consume,
just
they consume
crushed
me.
8 seasons. Of
I know,
Suits
and that's
in
where
like
I
4
literally
days.
in the middle of it, I was like, man, this is why I can't watch shows because my ADD, I'll literally just
Oh, I
take
heard
it.
this
I
too.
can't stop watching it.
But you just argued for binging shows.
I know if you're going to watch a show, binge a
Like
show
you-
instead of
you-
staying up to date with the show.
Yeah, you're like, but how are you personally with your two philosophies going to be able to enjoy a show if you're like, my ADD, I can't just wait for all the seasons
Because
to come out
I've
'cause then I
essentially
binge
sit there
them.
and be like, I got a month.
And
Let
then
me-
in the
let me
middle-
lose my life to a show for a little
And then
bit.
in the middle of it, you're like, see, that's why you got to binge it, man. So you don't have to stay up to date on it.
the
You know what I mean?
binging part was because of if you're in season 2, is it season 2 of House of Dragons?
No, season 3 just finished.
Okay, so season 3 of House of Dragons
Right?
just
Season
finished.
2.
Season 2 just
Let's
finished.
say this thing goes 6 seasons. If you finish the finale of season 3, but you can go watch season 4, episode 1, then that finale is not as bad as you thought. It's just like, oh, I can't wait to see what's next.
You don't have a year to wait.
Yeah, you don't have a year, 2 years. I heard is the next production for the
So
season
how
4 to
long
come
are
out.
you waiting before you start watching? And then you're up to date.
It's tough.
Because either way, you're
Taylor and I
going
were
to
having this conversation the
come
other
into
day.
the tail end of a finale.
I know. I think when season 4 is going to come out is when I'll probably start watching House of Dragons, because I still haven't even seen
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Thank
which
you.
Crazy.
I know. It's just too many storylines, and I don't know, man. I always fall back on the things I know, like Scrubs. If I'm gonna watch a
Just
show,
easy watches. You don't want to keep
out
up
the
with
door
stuff.
just in time. I love that show. Any heartbreak I ever had, Will. Any sort of adversity I ever had, Scrubs. Would be the first show to come on. But yeah, I heard this show's amazing, and that just goes. If you're gonna watch a show, you should wait a couple seasons, be out of the conversations a little bit, and then you binge it, and you're like, oh shit.
Whatever, man.
Yeah, let's hit some tier talk, dude.
Oh, we got a good tier talk for you. Do you know tier talk?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Tier talk, for those that don't know who might be joining in, Mr. and Mrs. Levis, who were probably tuned in. Tier talk, we're going to tier a system here, 3 all the way up to 1. In that order, you give a little description of why you like your tier 3, your tier 2, your tier 1. You can also have an honorable mention if they just missed the cut. The tier talk today will be Mayo combinations.
All right.
So whether it's the way you like to use Mayo the most,
Sure.
will be our tier talk.
Okay.
Taylor?
Ooh, is it a draft? It's like, yeah, okay.
No, it's not a draft.
So,
This is
Jeff,
just
you're going
like
to start at your
list.
3.
Go.
So I don't know a whole lot about Mayo. No disrespect to your game, Will.
If you don't know Mayo, it's just disrespectful to Will.
He's a Mayo guy. So I didn't. When this tier talk was presented to me, I jumped around a little bit. But my tier 3, and it's gonna take me back to bourbon steak a little bit, or you go to those kind of fancy restaurants. And they got the fries come out, and it's not your basic sauce, but they bring out an aioli on you, specifically the garlic aioli.
Ooh.
Anybody who's watched the show for a long time knows
talk
your boy loves to fight bad breath
dirty too.
with a lot of garlic.
Yes.
And so tier 3 is going to go to garlic aioli, which is a combination with mayo.
Have you tried to have like a flank steak or something like that with a garlic aioli? That was like our family, one of our staples as a family. Like my mom it would be like our little fancy addition to the steak we had for that night.
Yeah.
A little garlic aioli on the side.
Which
Really good.
You bring up a good point. When you go to a steakhouse and it's like a faux pas to like ask for a sauce.
Exactly.
It's like, that's dead.
Yeah.
That's got to be completely dead. Like, what are all the sauces you have? Okay, everything but the blue cheese, bring it to me. And I want to dip, and I want to try to take out all the sauces with this one steak and figure it out. So that's my tier 3. My tier 2 is a nostalgic tier 2 for me, and that is Chipotle mayo. I think Chipotle mayo is fantastic. You go to Subway as a child and you get the sweet onion chicken teriyaki. I would get the sweet onion chicken teriyaki sauce, and then I would add the Chipotle mayo, which just added a little extra oomph to it, making one of the best sandwiches of my childhood. And then I went a little rogue on my tier 1. I find it when you combine mayonnaise with sour cream, buttermilk, dried dillweed, dried parsley, dried chives, onion powder, garlic powder, fine sea salt, and finally cracked pepper, and you mix it all together, what do you get?
Ranch.
You get ranch. So my tier 1 of mayo combination is going to go
To ranch.
It's a great list. It's a great list.
That is,
that's so
that is my...
And what you've brought to the attention to a lot of people here today is very important, which is mayo is the base and used in so many other great sauces and dips that people always say they love, even though they say they might hate mayonnaise.
1,000%.
Which is just a stigma I've been trying to crush the last couple of years. So I'm starting to.
We're doing your workout here, brother.
Thank you.
We're doing your
Stay on the
workout there.
front lines, and this podcast will back you.
We now after tier talk, whoever went, we go around the room and we give one word. Will, we'll start with you.
Tasty.
Saucy.
Yummy.
Veteran.
Solid.
Good. Hall of Fame hyphenated.
That went way better than I expected.
sir.
That went way better than I expected.
All right. My tier 3, and it shares with yours, but just aioli in general. I feel like anytime you're going through a menu and you see aioli in the description for whatever reason, you might not even know if you like aioli, but it sounds nice. It sounds interesting. It sounds unique. But any type of aioli where you're mixing mayo, I think is listen, I love fucking mayonnaise. I love mayonnaise.
Did you guys read
Patty
that?
mayonnaise was where the love started. My tier 2.
That's gotta never come back.
My tier 2. is mixing mayo with ketchup.
Fancy sauce.
Anytime I have fries. Obviously, if you're at your bourbons or your nice steakhouses where they have an aioli to come out with it, that is great. But anytime I have fries, I want mayo, I want ketchup. I would say 2 parts mayo, 1 part ketchup.
I think that's right. I think
2 parts mayo, 1 part ketchup. Do you know in Europe, I think it's European, but they bring out both ketchup and mayo together. The little glass. I think America needs to adopt that. I think we need to take it on basically everywhere we go. My tier 1, simply put, sandwiches. Any sandwich. I can have mayo on the sandwich that's already on there, but I want extra mayo that I can squeeze onto the sandwich. That's how horny I get for mayo. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. That's my tier talk. Hey, listen, helmets.
Wholesome.
horny.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear.
Overload.
Cream.
Horny 2 times.
All right.
Patty.
Iconic.
That's a good little deal.
I know, I felt good.
Got to feel tough.
True to
bro.
myself.
Got to feel tough. That
I know I kind of generalized
good tier
everything,
talks.
All right.
but I love it.
Well, I mean, you took a couple of mine. I think the aioli route's safe. And sandwiches in general, I've always been a believer. There's really no American sub that can go without mayo. I'm going to go number 3. I'm going to stick to my New England roots, even though I am a hot lobster roll guy. But a nice cold lobster roll is always made and tossed with some mayo. People forget that, you know. All your like kind of, you know, chicken salads, all those kind of salads. But I'm going to do lobster salad. I'm going to go a lobster roll tossed in mayo on a bun with some lettuce. Then all that's going to hit.
That's good.
Number 2, I'm going buffalo chicken dip. Yeah, you know, there's always, you know, big base of mayo that is included in a buffalo chicken dip. That is your Sunday, Saturday, you know, amazing dip appetizer. That's a staple at any kind of tailgate. You got to have that. And at number 1, I'm going to say a burger. I think my classic best burger, like all-American burger that, you know, you can't go wrong with is a bacon cheeseburger with lettuce, tomato, mayo. And onion, if you like onion. I sometimes onion, sometimes
Love
not.
onion.
I do too, but sometimes yes, sometimes no. But I feel like that is
raw.
That is the burger. You know, I grew up on my mom's pregnant craving was a Wendy's Baconator, and I would go into the drive-thru with her as an 8-year-old and smack probably 4 or 5 junior bacon cheeseburgers. And that is the junior bacon cheeseburger recipe, and that's how I've made my burgers and ordered them whenever I can my entire life. So that's my list.
Elite. Great job. Elite. Great job. I would take the bacon off the burger. I'm more of a purist, but you're so right about even the burger.
Okay.
One word, Will. One word.
Sorry. I love you. Fantastic.
Elite.
Serendipitous.
Wow.
Hyphenated my QB.
OG.
Mount Rushmore
Wow.
Really good.
Good tier talk.
of all Bussin. All of our tier talks.
That was really good.
That's emotional.
That's emotional, but let him feel it. Let him feel all the emotions right now.
No doubt.
Let him feel all the emotions.
Let's slow down.
Fed a lot of
onions. Twist a
Hey,
question.
that's a good question though. Raw or grilled?
I like both. There's a place for both.
Raw.
I think raw on burgers though.
More of
yeah.
a place for raw.
Yeah.
Yeah, raw is the move.
Mhm.
More texture. It's better.
And I love how you went with the colder lobster roll, because a lot of people like the warm one with the butter and everything else. But I'm always second guessing that pick because mayo is on the fucking colder one.
But I would say I do
Just
prefer the
excited.
hot.
I didn't know you loved mayo like this. I knew you liked mayo, but man, seeing this is wild.
Yeah, mayo's my favorite condiment.
All right.
Mayo's my favorite condiment. Even when we were at what was it, Joey's Oyster?
Oh yeah.
The cold one, the lobster roll.
Place was fire.
Fire.
God, great tier talk. Great tier talk.
Great tier talk. Well, you've been phenomenal. Do we have any I know we got to get my man out of 10. You got one?
What time is it right now? We got
Oh, we
twisted
got a
question. We got
twisted
twisted
question.
question. But what is what time is it?
5 minutes.
5 minutes to what?
He's got to go.
Okay, yep. Twisted tea is refreshing hard iced tea made with real brewed tea and 5% alcohol, full of flavor and very refreshing. Twisted tea goes down smooth. There's no carbonation. It makes it easy to drink all day long. Twisted tea fuels fun and celebrates extreme fandom on game day. It's the perfect alcohol/beverage for game day, whether you're tailgating in the parking lot, watching at a bar, or watching with friends at home. Twisted tea is here to turn up your game day. Keep it twisted. Grab a refreshing Twisted tea today. The twisted question comes from Mitch, and the question is:
You wake up in year 2074. What is the first thing that you Google? And you only have like one Googleable thing. What's the one thing that you Google?
one Googleable thing. And this is, in my opinion, emotional. Maybe the best twisted question we've ever had.
This is tough.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go through my thought process here. I'm thinking family. You know, like who's still around for my family? Like who can I find? Whatever. I'm thinking sports, like recent champions. I'm thinking like, if my, Kentucky, they won a national championship, whatever. Like Titans, like Super Bowl, like we get a Super Bowl. And then I'm thinking financially. I'm thinking my stock portfolio and looking at what the S&P is looking like. So
What your Bitcoin account looks like.
yeah, I'm gonna go
2074. So the people that have died. Like we're just frozen and we wake up and you get Google.
Yeah,
that
we're
parameters?
Austin Powers. We go in the cryo chamber. We wake up.
Yeah, that's a good wrinkle in it. I
50
like
years
where
later.
Will was going with it. That like you're gonna go back. Like you're not gonna stay in.
Oh, is that
2074.
yeah?
Wait.
Are we gonna go back?
I think you're gonna go back in time. That's why you only have one Google search.
Gotcha.
and
So
then
you can
once
use that information to your advantage when you come
Yes.
back. Okay.
Ooh, man.
Okay, done. I would Google. So if it's today, it's August 26th. I would look up. So I'm getting a Google. I'm coming back. I would Google what were the lottery numbers for whatever August 31st, 2024. Done. Send me back. I'm going to get a ticket.
Could you remember them?
Probably not.
I'll tell you what. Even that idea makes your stock one that much nicer
good one,
because you
too.
understand the few ticker symbols that you're like, oh, I'm right. I'm going literally all in on these motherfuckers.
Yeah, Fortune 500 companies right now.
But honestly, I just don't think I could not just sit at the laptop and just type in Nebraska Cornhuskers national championship in football, and then you see 2025 in there,
Bro, what if you saw nothing?
2026, like we just 3 in a row,
That's basically say like when.
and then I get to come back on the bus.
And then you're gonna fuck it all up. You're gonna change the whole butterfly effect.
Yes! Oh no!
Hey, yo, I'd be so sick because then I'd be trying to tell you guys what I saw, and they'd be like, he's insanely delusional. We got to get him to a hospital.
And then it would happen. But what if you Googled that and it said Nebraska Cornhuskers national championships, and then you said the last one's 1997. Now,
yeah.
then you come back and Will's like, "We're gonna be great this year. We're gonna win the night." It's like that's not true.
Yeah,
That's like Googling like that's like Googling Rue, like putting her name in there, and then you could find out if she's alive or not or what she's doing with her life. Then you go back and you essentially know what she's doing. And it's maybe something you don't want to know.
I think I do want to know though.
You would want to know when you die, that type of situation.
Yeah, I kind of want to know when I'm dying.
That's very, I don't know, brave or
I don't know if that's brave.
courageous.
Yeah,
That's courageous of you. I wouldn't
just let me know, man.
now.
Just let me know.
So I'm Googling lottery tickets for the upcoming lottery.
That's the right answer. I think I'll stick with my thought process and do the same thing with the
Stocks.
stocks and just
Yeah.
look up Yahoo Finance, get the S&P 500. Few stocks I've never heard of that probably aren't businesses that even exist yet that I know
Yeah.
when they do exist they're going to pop off. So
Just Google
Best
Fortune 500
performing
companies.
companies.
Yeah.
In the last
50
decade.
years.
50 years. Yeah, that's a good
Last
one.
decade.
In the last year.
All
Before
right.
you go, biggest misconception of Will Levis.
biggest misconception of Will Levis. I don't know. I think I just wish more people got an opportunity to just meet me in person and get to know like kind of who I am as a dude. I'm not
Outside of
this
the body photos and the coffee
self-absorbed
Mayo.
weirdo that I think a lot of people think I might be with that a crazy commercial, but this was an awesome piece that they put together. They did one for Tajay and one for me, but I think that gave a good look into kind of what my day-to-day is looking like right now. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what the public perception of me per se. So I just hope keep doing the right things to show people who I am.
The good thing is, like, you've spoke about it. Now you can almost lean into the weirdo stuff. Like, everybody who knows you knows you. Now you leave the world. Now you just start leaning into the bullshit.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
No. I think it's a great way, because the people that will just follow you online will never truly know you. Like, who cares what their opinion is?
Yeah.
So you can be as goofy and as weird as you want, play into it, and then everyone else is like,
the right people know.
People are like, yo, Will's a weirdo. It's like, nah, man, if you knew him,
Or
he's
if
actually
somebody
just
comes
a homie.
across you, it's like, yo, is Will really weird like that? You're like, no, he kind of just fucks around.
Yeah. Which is kind of the best compliment.
Yeah.
When someone says, he kind of just fucks around.
Really? Man, I thought for sure he was fit for a straight jacket.
It's tough when everyone's like, hey, is Will really love Nebraska that much? I had to be like, yeah, he really believes that. Dude, we're rooting for you this year, man.
Yeah, bro.
Got the over under 5.5 games for the Tennessee Titans, and I will be betting the over. Don't say anything.
Will just.
I am betting the over on that. What's that?
We need Will to sign our new helmet that we're getting signatures.
Oh, that's right.
Amazing.
First one here. Oh, second. Sorry, brother.
Put your hands up
I
for
don't know,
it.
I just kind of wanted to touch it.
Can't touch it unless you're a guest on the podcast.
Hold it up for the camera, Will.
Let's go.
There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Will Levis.
Will, thanks, bro. This was fun, man.
This was awesome. Long time coming. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.